Hello and welcome to my stream. Tonight we play more of RollerCoaster Tycoon. And last time we were dealing with a very hard level. I mean, all of these last levels have been very challenging because it is the end of the game pretty much. It is the second part of the Loopy Landscapes expansion pack. So yeah, the levels have all been kind of brutal. The previous one was the Icicle Worlds, right? That was asking for us to get to a very high amount of people in the park. They were 2,500 people, and then never letting the park rating to drop under 700. That was really tough. I think we actually had to play that level to like 7 years until we could beat the objective. And I was panicking in the final years because the more people were in the park, the more problems they were causing to the park, especially vomiting and trash and litter and everything. But thankfully, we were able to do it. And next, we'll be getting out of the crazy frosty mountains and we are heading to the scorching deserts of the level that's called Southern Sands. And this one we have already checked it out a little bit, just like to see what was up ahead. This next level will always require a high amount of people, but this time we have a limited time. We gotta get to that amount of people. If I'm not mistaken, it is 2,300 people under 40 years. Yeah, so I will also need to be fast this time. But at least I believe they will give us the advertisements that we couldn't do before. So advertisements will help. And also this level has a couple of coasters pre-made. So I believe they can also give us a good start. All of that said, hopefully the stream is okay. Let me just confirm it. Let me start the game and then see if the audio is alright in there on OBS. Okay. Yeah, 2,300 guests in 4 years. Alright. Uh, yeah, the audio is going, alright. What about my mic? Hello, hello. Mic's good. Nice. So let's see. Let me see how is this looking like. In the beginning, I will actually pause the game. First of all, let's check the research. I will skip scenery and theming, but I will also check what do we have at the start. We have food and drinks, the kiosk, balloons, and bathroom. So we are good in here. I may skip shops and stalls for a little bit. Hey, cool, what's up, man? I decided to bring some roller coaster tonight because I did get a little bit tired yesterday after playing Theater Rhythm. And also, it's been a while since we were last playing RCT because we went through Yono, we went through Paper Trail, then more Theater Rhythm, and then only now I'm back to it. So I was like, you know what, let's play it for something more slow and cozy, right? So there we go. And then we are be heading towards Southern Sands. Were you able to finish Evergreen Gardens? Did you start Crazy Castle already? How's your playthrough? I'm still checking out things in here. They gave us Log Flume and the Water Coaster, Scrambled Eggs, the Swinging Ship 3D Cinema. We have the Steel Coaster, nice. Then a couple of gentle rides, not as many though, and transport rides. Okay. Regarding what we already have in the level, just confirming something. Yeah, the admission price is for free. We have a kiosk in here. Good to know that. Let's sell these orange umbrellas and then raise this to 70 cents, and the umbrellas, let's leave them at $5. What else is in here? We have this first coaster that looks like a worm. It is charging $4 for a ride. I want more. And it doesn't have the on-ride photo section, isn't it? It has 3 trains, I don't trust that. But does it have three stations? Because if it doesn't have three stations, I will change the number of trains. No, I think they are all at the same station right here, right? So I'm actually changing this. We're gonna try hiring handyman and putting staff on right paths. I can try, yeah, maybe one or two. Not for the entire park though, but a couple of ones, sure. Since I will change the number of trains, I think I can also change the station, right? So I can add the on-ride photo section right there. Then make it one train, 12 cars. Give it some testing, but I believe it will work. Inspections in every 10 minutes. Okay, what else do we have in here? We have a bathroom already, alright. It's close to the kiosk, so I can focus the food plaza around these parts. Then we have this. The monorail. Oh, okay. Show me the underground. It's like a subway, isn't it? Yeah, they planned this monorail like a subway. Very interesting. I actually think I will change it just because I think it is more useful to have more cars going on, or maybe to say more trains going on. Can I have 4 trains? I can. I think this is better. As it is a somewhat important ride, I will also give it inspections in every 10 minutes. And we also have this coaster right here. The second roller coaster that has 3 trains, no way. A single train with 8 cars. Also inspections in every 10 minutes. Test it. Then how is my staff? We have a single mechanic. Let's have 3 for the beginning. Maybe 1 entertainer. And let me hire some handyman. As we already have 2 coasters, I need to check how intense they are though. I think that starting with like 5 handyman could be good, because I will also build new coasters. Let me see. This is for the monorail, that is for the coaster, right? Let me add some benches in here. I think that's good enough. We have some litter bins spreaded already, but I can add more. I can already say that we have a lot of paths, so I hope that the guests won't get lost. But I wanna believe they won't, because the paths kinda lead them to destinations, right? Like, there are coasters, there are the monorails, benches at the exit of the other coaster. Where was it? The warm one, this one. It is there. Okay. Let's see if the strategy of having set paths for handyman will work. I will mark this one in here. I think that's good enough for him. Maybe just to finish this path as well. Then let's go to the other coaster. Also, by the way, I need to start the advertisement because it is a lot of people that I need to have at the end of 4 years. So let's give them... Oh, I don't have any food or drink option. Okay, let me do that very quickly then. The bathroom and the information kiosk were there. Okay, so let's see. We can have ice creams in the desert. That sounds like very nice. And we can have lemonade. Now we can advertise them. We could advertise the ice creams just for a start. Then let me add some more benches in here. And litter bins. Okay, I think this is alright for this start. Next, let me just confirm that the bathroom is... Oh, they are charging for the bathroom. No, I want it to be free. Also, make everything open. There we go. Since we have money right now, let's start with a coaster. Hey Nubba, what's up, man? How are you doing? I decided to play a little bit of RCT tonight. Final Fantasy was kinda going too intense. Some of those quests are very hard, so I decided to take a little break. Yes, I was talking about the steel coaster because it is normally cheap and very good. So let's find a model in here. Do you guys play Dead by Daylight by any chance? I know X5 likes it. It's just because before starting the stream I saw some news on Dead by Daylight getting Attack on Titan characters. I thought it was like a crazy crossover. Because I understand that the Titans of Attack on Titan are like ugly and horrible looking, but I wouldn't consider them necessarily horror, you know? So I was like, what a crazy mix of characters in here. I think I will try this model right here. Alright, I kinda like it. I will do the same thing I did for the wooden coaster by adding an on-ride photo section. I should actually go back there and change the prices for it, right? How are you? Well, I'm doing alright, man. Today was a cloudy, rainy day, so I decided to stay at home. I was watching some Persona 3 playthroughs on YouTube. It is actually the streamer that Yoda likes to watch. And he's playing Persona 3 Reload for the first time, and he's very entertaining. He's called JC, and he has been kind of playing it often, so the episodes are coming up. So I decided to be watching that earlier today. And then also I was working on my own channel, right? I was doing the clips of our previous streams because I'm also streaming a lot. Have you noticed that I haven't stopped streaming since I returned? Yeah, I have been on a streak, right? I have been streaming every day so far. Maybe one day I will get some, and I'll need some rest, but I have been streaming a lot too. But I was catching up with my own VODs to make the clips of the streams. And thankfully, today and yesterday, I managed to kind of catch up a little bit more. And I'm only one stream behind. Yeah, which was yesterday's stream. And then I will have yesterday's stream and today's stream to kind of do some clips in case something happens. But yeah, my day was basically that. I was working on the clips and then watching the Persona playthrough. So it was a normal day. I was also kind of resting a little because this week Pilates kind of made both my abs and also my calves like to hurt. So I'm kind of recovering from that. Yeah, Pilates got to those both parts of my body a lot this week. Even when I was like waking up today, I had to be careful with my leg because my leg is hurting, but I hope that it means that the muscle is growing, right? Do you guys work out by any chance? Do you do some physical activities or something? Let me raise the price of the pictures. We can charge them much more than this. Regarding my lower back pain, it's stable, but not 100%. I would say it's like 90% maybe. But at least it's not bothering that much, right? So it's fine. Let's also drop the inspection time. Another thing that I did as well was checking the videos that I was kind of mentioning in one of these streams, that they are videos on YouTube that they recommend me indie games, and I got to them again. I could get a couple of indie games recommendations too. There are even some of them that I posted today on Discord that are even free to play. There is a visual novel in there that seems to also mix it with investigation, maybe like a noir visual novel like game that I believe X5 will be interested. So next time I talk to him, I will try to remember to tell him to check that out. It's a free game on Steam. There were a couple other free games on Steam too, but some of them I might not see myself playing them, but I posted there on Discord in case anyone likes them. But others I can see myself playing them, yeah. There was even one, the last one I posted, that was like an action platformer game of some sorts. That was kinda interesting too. Nice to hear, man, that you're doing well. Just can't tell if I'm tired or awake because of my because my body won't decide. I mean, it sounds like you are also having a cozy, lazy day today then. Yeah. It's also understandable because it is like Friday, right? So it's the end of the week, and then probably we all had a somewhat busy week too. Regarding the weekend, um, I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. Maybe I will also kind of try to just stay at home or rest or something. I know I need to sunbathe, but thanks to the weather in here, I don't think it's been very good for that. But in case the weather changes a little bit more, or the clouds spread more, or at least I get some sunlight, then I will try to at least take some time to stay at my balcony reading some Game of Thrones and sunbathing. Because I don't like when I spend a lot of time like without sunbathing, and today I skipped sunbathing because of the weather. Then yesterday I was outside because of Pilates, but the day was super cloudy. Yeah, I worry about my vitamin D levels, mostly thanks to anxiety, insomnia, and all of those things. So far I'm doing good, but it's always also important for me to be preventing lower levels of my vitamins, especially the D1. Wait, you just haven't slept yet, so you kinda stayed awake from last, like from yesterday? You are like straight up awake? My body has broken through the tired phase. I understand that sometimes. Yeah, after not going to bed or sleeping or being able to sleep, your body kind of accepts it a little, and then you kind of get some energy until you can feel sleepy again. I do that, for example, when I have insomnia. I'm like, fine, I will leave this day, even though I'm tired and with low energy, until I can feel sleepy enough to like pretty much uh, have a good night of sleep in the next day, you know? You're now on the hyper awake phase until your body shuts down. Yeah, sometimes I do that too. Because, I don't know, normally when I can't sleep is because of anxiety. So I need to either wait until my body relaxes or my mind stops the thoughts, right? So it's kind of like a waste of my time even to kind of lay on my bed when I kind of know that I won't sleep easily. So sometimes it's just better to be distracted by something else until you are so tired to just shut down, like you said. which sucks because I was hoping to play some Battlefield 6 since it just released today. Battlefield 6, huh? I remember we were talking about Call of Duty, right? The other day. I think it was the seventh one. But yeah, I don't know much about Battlefield. Is it a multiplayer game or a single player game? Or maybe both even. So we made to 350 gas, that's good. Let me get one of the handyman. Oh yes, I forgot to set the path for another one too, but one of them will be responsible for this coaster, right? And maybe also this area right here. It sounds like to me, Novel, that you are not like in a big hurry to fall asleep right now, like because of tomorrow or something. But one good idea of an activity that could help you to feel more sleepy and also kind of slow down your body is reading. Yeah, so in case, I don't know, you really feel like maybe now I should start feeling sleep or sleepy so I could fall asleep, then I would suggest you like trying to read something. It is just another FPS game. That's actually the impression that I have from it. It has a campaign for solo play, and what attracts the fan base is a 32 versus 32 large-scale PvP match. That sounds almost like a battle royale, but with two teams, with infantry, tasks, and helicopters and jets. Interesting. I wonder if that's what actually differs Battlefield than other battle royales, because it is one of the few times that I hear about two teams in large scale of people. Yeah, because the other battle royale games that I know, they normally are everyone versus everyone, right? There is no team. But since it's released today, um, I can understand your excitement to try it. Let's do this again for lemonades this time. Also, by the way, our money is already gone, right? But let me build some more rides. I should also get the balloons. Balloons normally sell a lot. Any color suggestion for the balloons? Which color is Battlefield? When I think about Battlefield, I think I would give it actually a orange color or maybe yellow. But maybe I'm wrong. Battlefield had a 64 versus 64 mode as well. Oh, green or 10. Wait, which color is 10? I have never heard of that as a color. Do you mean something like this? Some brownish color? Is that 10? I'm not sure. But you know what? Green sounds good. It's been forever since I last have seen green balloons. Light brown? Okay, like a sand color. Let's go green for our Chico Rita, right? That we were talking about the other day too. Did I show you, Noble, that I fixed my Charmander? I think I talked to you that, right? I told you that. Yeah, thank goodness one problem less for me to go after. Yeah, there we go. Last stream as well, by the end of it, I was talking about a lot of Brazilian candy because people from my Pilates, they gave me a lot of candy, but not for Halloween because in here Halloween is not a big thing. But we actually do have an alternate celebration. I wouldn't say it's a holiday per se. It's like a religious celebration based on two doctors, two twin brothers that use it to work for free pretty much and uh, heal people, right? Help them in their injuries. But they used to do that for free, and also when they were dealing with kids, they used to give candies to the kids, and then the high church decided to kind of, I don't know, pay some tributes to them, to their service and to their work and for their good. And yeah, now we have this one celebration here that some people, some schools, they do, that it is the day of Cosme and Damião, and then they normally give candies to kids. But my Pilates, uh, it was actually not my Pilates teacher, it was the owner of the Pilates studio. She is avoiding sugar, and also I didn't think that she wanted to give it to her kid, so she gave it to me. She was like, "Hey, do you want to get those candies because I'm not eating them and whatever?" Sure. So I got a bunch of candies now, and then little by little I'm eating that. Just don't put it back in my pocket. Yes, right. I thought it was so ironic how my Charmander broke in the pocket, and he was a pocket monster, right? Yeah. Come on, that had to hurt. Honestly, though, I kind of deserved it because Subaru suggested me like, "Oh, why didn't you bring a container to protect it, knowing that you would get it in the next day?" You know, he's right. I should have brought a container. But it's just because I was kind of trying to be careful with the other ones I 3D printed in the other days before the Charmander. I was trying to leave them in the safest pocket in the front of my shorts, because in the back I would sit somewhere and then it would crush, right? But it was not enough because in that day in particular, which was in Sunday, I was carrying extra stuff, and I even had my power bank to recharge my phone, and it was together with my power bank. And there was one moment that I had the power bank, my phone, and the Charmander in the same pocket. So that's how I did it wrong, right? I should have separated things a little bit more in there. And then once I realized that it was broken, it was kind of sad, but at the same time, at least was just the tail, and the tail I could easily fix it by using the glue. Let me go back to the chat and deal with that. It's funny that even without looking at the chat right now, because of the speed of the messages going up, I knew it was the bot. Yeah. From what I have heard, Halloween started as All Saints Day. So Halloween is also kind of like a religious celebration, followed immediately by All Hallows Eve. What exactly both times of days meant, I have no idea. Interesting. I never connected Halloween and something that could be religious, you know? Because to me it sounds like the opposite, because of the creepy things. I mean, not that the church doesn't have creepy things or things, but I never actually made a connection between them two. But regarding that celebration here in Brazil, it's not something that I normally celebrate. Even as a kid, I used not to celebrate that. So I did not used to go to the houses, ask for candies or stuff. Sometimes my school gave me something, but it was all I could get. So it's a celebration that I normally forget about because I'm not like I don't know. It's not part of my life. But then out of nowhere, uh, I was in that situation of my Pilates studio's owner, that she had candy. She didn't have anyone to give it. She gave it to me, so I was like, okay, I can find some use to that. I can show those candies here on the stream, so and everyone can see some Brazilian candy. I can little by little be snacking on them. I take it. But yeah, I always forget about that because I never celebrated. It was never important in my life. Like, I would also say that maybe depends on the cities. Like in my hometown, that used not to be a big thing, but maybe here in this city that I live right now, it is, more common. Like people still celebrate it. I'm not sure. We are getting a little bit more of money. Let me see how are the thoughts of the guests. Huh? What is the price of the monorail, by the way? Good call. Some people need to go to the bathroom, some people are hungry, so I should build another food plaza. Okay. And we made it to 600 guests. And it is June already. Where is the monorail? I know it is underground, but oh, there we go. It is $1? No, let's raise this. We need more money. $2. Then the other food plaza should be on the opposite side, so maybe somewhere here. I think this is a good spot for it, right here. So we got bathrooms. Let's go with burgers this time. And drinks. This is going to be the fast food based food plaza, right? The unhealthy food plaza. There we go. They are oh no, seriously, this is starting. They are getting lost. Are they really getting lost? Some are, yeah. Where are you? But he's almost getting to the entrance, so I still think it's not a big problem. Halloween is a major holiday there in the US. Yeah, you guys celebrate it even before the 31st, right? Like for the whole month, you decorate everything. I just think it's funny because, like, it happens at the end of October, and then in November you have Thanksgiving, and then in December it's Christmas. So if it were not for November, it would be like 2 whole months of everything decorated, either for Halloween or Christmas. So I imagine the crazy swapping of decoration, Quick, take all of the Halloween things out because now we need to put the decorations for Christmas. I imagine like people being crazy on decorating their houses and spending a lot of time with like swapping the two things. Here it's just Christmas, and yeah, we don't need to worry about freaking Halloween or Thanksgiving even. It is a time for kids and parents to bond while getting sweets for free. Assuming a group of total jerks don't ruin it by taking the pranks too far. So do people actually go for pranks? I know there is the trick or treat thing, but I always assumed that it was just more for the treats, right? Not really for the tricks. If I could, I would so get a costume themed after Ghosts from Call of Duty. I'm thinking it's the guy with the mask. Is that the character, like the protag? They aren't the spooky scare you ghosts, they are the more lethal ghosts. Honestly, there are people in the anime events that I go that they go like those protagonists of the shooting games. So I have the feeling I have seen before a ghost from Call of Duty cosplay in one of the anime events I have been to. I hate anyone that puts up Christmas decorations before the 1st of December. Oh no. Why is that? Is it because it gives you the idea that the year is ending? And then you kind of don't like to have that idea before the right time for that? There are many iterations of what the Call of Duty ghosts look like. Many skins, huh? So how is your favorite one then? Or it doesn't matter, you can take any ghosts from Call of Duty. Are they still getting lost? I have this idea on my mind that if I could, I don't know, dress after a character for Halloween one day, I think I would go after Neo from Matrix. But I don't know, it's an old thought of mine, but maybe I should consider a different character or a different costume after so long. Let me build something else. Let's go for the roller drop. That's normally very profitable. A good place for this. I think that on top of the dune, right? Because it is a tower, so it can be like Sauron's eye. In the Lord of the Rings, we could have the two towers, right? Which is my favorite movie in the Lord of the Rings, by the way. Yeah, the two towers, I had an amazing experience by watching it at the movies. I watched it in January 1st, by the way. Yeah, I remember it still. I went with my aunt and my sister. It was pretty much only us at the movies because we went there January 1st at kind of like 10 a.m. So it was very early. Nobody was at the movie theater. So it was very special. It was very, very great. And it ended up being my favorite Lord of the Rings movie. I just don't know how to connect this. Mm, maybe like this. By the way, Nubble, we were talking about Smash Brothers. I believe either yesterday or the day before. And I kind of thought of some possible characters coming up for whatever Nintendo decides to do with the franchise. And I got to the conclusion that we could be getting Hornet or Hollow Knight because of the popularity of those games right now, right? We could also be getting some character from Hades because Hades also has been very trendy and everything. Then there are the classic ones like Rayman. Where is Rayman? Where is Crash Bandicoot? Where is Dixie Kong? Uh, they are releasing freaking Yuka Replay, right? But the remake of Yooka-Laylee, maybe we could get those characters too. It would be nice. I was even thinking about a possible Resident Evil character too because we got Resident Evil 9 being on the direct and being like the final game announced in the last Nintendo Direct. So it was like Nintendo is giving this game a big priority. So why not bring the final, not the final, the Resident Evil characters to the Smash Brothers? It sounds crazy, but it could happen. Lara Croft as well, or maybe even some characters from Sony. Uh, Maybe the character from Horizon Zero Dawn. Maybe Kratos. I don't know. Sony has been so weird lately with their partnerships, and some of their games are coming to the Switch even. So maybe one day. But yeah, we were talking about some possible characters for Smash the other day. They just wear a mask with a black mask with a white skull pattern on the front and darker military attire. Yes, I think I can picture that character. It was probably the one that I thought. And the black mascara or something like it around their eye to help conceal their identity further. Would love for Hornet to join Smash Brothers, I figured, because of her badge right there, right? I would prefer Zagreus over what's her name from the second game. I would still need to play those games. Did you think that Hollow Knight and Silk Song are really hard? Knowing me, do you think I would struggle too much with that game? Because I actually have Hollow Knight. Kratos would be cool, but isn't he already in a fighting game? He's probably in the PlayStation All-Stars, isn't he? Yeah. Oh yeah, Phoenix Wright is also there, but I wish he could make to Smash. And also Professor Layton, of course. A very specific pick that I would personally love, although it's a very, my thing, I think nobody else would care for that, would have been quote from Cave Story. Yeah, but I don't think he's popular enough to make to the cut, right? But I would love to have quote in there. Just because I really like Cave Story. When people talk about Stardew Valley and I don't know, Super Meat Boy, let's think about some other very OG indie games that were successful. There is that one that's called Braids that I still need to play as well. I know it was one of the early ones that got something hyped. Shovel Knight, When people think about classic indie games, those are the ones they first think of, and they are great. But to me, Cave Story is like also part of that bundle because Cave Story is super old and it had so much quality for an indie game in my opinion. So yeah, let's pick the movie for this. Let's have Storm Chasers because I believe it's kind of fitting for the desert in here. We are almost getting to 1,000 guests, and it's still year one, so that's not bad. Let's keep on building some other cheap rides. The swinging ship. Maybe could place it. I don't know. Let me zoom out. They definitely will give us a new Pokemon as well. Probably would struggle. It's a Metroidvania first, Souls-like second. It's a Souls-like even. There is this game, by the way, that I think, speaking of indie games, that I think that not many people hear about it. But even though I think it's not a game for my taste, I believe it could be a game that many of you could like it. I need to remember how it's called, but it is Wall something. And it was even on sale on the Switch right now. Okay, I will look for the game's name. It's Wall something. It has such an interesting concept because it is a Metroidvania that you both need to explore this one tall mountain inside of it. So you kind of enter some caves to check what lies inside of those caves, but also you need to climb it by using this one spider looking like machine that you have, and things attack you on the outside too. So you kind of need to maybe find resources to upgrade your spider-like machine to be climbing the mountain while things are trying to take you down, you know? It's easier or better for you guys to check the trailer of that, but it does sound to me like a very unique Metroidvania-like game that surprises me how people are not talking about it. Yeah, Wall Indie Metroidvania. Let me see. Is it Wall World or something? Because it could have been called Wall World. Let me see. Wall World. It is Wall World. Check this game out, especially because I actually heard that it's getting a sequel. So we are going to even get a Wall World 2 soon. And I thought it was a very good idea for a Metroidvania. I'm not sure if the game really delivers, but I imagine it does. It sounds very challenging too. I remember reading some people talking about it, and then people were saying it's hard. But for Metroidvania lovers that want to try something unique and different, Wall World could be a good pick, yeah. But I still don't think it is my game per se, but maybe one day I can prepare myself to get to it, yeah. But then regarding Souls games, I do not have experience with Souls games, I would say. I still need to play another Scrap Treasure. That's the one that I think the most about starting. Um, or maybe Hollow Knight, as I have it, right? I just didn't know it was a Souls-like game as well, like a mix of things. But it could be an introduction, who knows? I was planning to place it in there, but maybe up here now. Let's charge it $2, and I will decrease the number of swings so we can get more people in. Our park rating is not too good, by the way. Let me save the game as well. It's almost the end of the first year. There we go. The hidden gems picks I really really want for Smash Brothers are characters from, you guess, the Trials of Mana. We don't have any. We don't have mana characters. Good call. We neither have mana characters or Tales of. We also don't have Tales of characters like Lloyd, for example. Demon Fang. I'm now on year 2 with 900 guests. That's which level? Is that still evergreen? Or are you talking about Crazy Castle? I use Souls like very loosely since that's a tag players give it on Steam, but I get the idea. Yeah, I can get the idea. It basically means it's challenging. Yeah, it's very challenging for you to perform the battles, right? It does have some, and also it has many bosses in Hollow Knight. It does have some challenging fights, yeah, but that's the closest thing to being a Souls-like. No, but I think that kind of makes sense to me. I'm normally not very like strict or uh, closed mind towards tags, you know, or like genres. I can understand like people calling one thing another thing because there is a characteristic that it fits, even if it's not fully that. I'm very good about that, yeah. But I know some people can become upset. Oh, that's not a roguelike, it's a roguelite, right? And then I'm like, but yeah, to me it's fine. I get the idea. For example, the other day I was wondering about things that could be visual novels or not, you know? Like, are walking. I mean, never mind. It was not visual novels. I meant walking simulators. There are some games that could be close to walking simulators, but not really be only walking simulators. I would say the best example, and maybe the reason why I was talking about that, was the game called The Pains Creek Killings. That was a recent game I checked out, and it gave me some Resident Evil vibes on the investigation, on like the storytelling, pretty much. But it is mostly a walking simulator. But because of this, um, I don't know, tense atmosphere it creates, I don't think it is just a walking simulator. Although I still need to play some other walking simulator classics like What Remains of Edith Finch or The Disappearance of Rachel Foster. There are so many of those, right? I actually have all of them in my backlog. I just need to take a day to play them all. But it didn't feel like a walking simulator, even though it was a walking simulator, just because how I was immersed into the investigation. So if I had to classify that game, I would say, oh, it's investigation, it's detective. But actually, it is more like a walking simulator thing, with exceptions. Yeah, there are like exceptions because there are a couple of moments that it becomes a little bit more action based, even, and also horror based. But it's like just, you know, some spices they added, but it's not really the whole game like that. But they added that enough to make it remarkable, because once the game kind of changes into horror or kind of changes into action, you are not prepared for that, and then it's very impactful to the player that needs to have very good reflexes and reactions. So yeah, but overall it is a walking simulator that doesn't feel like one in my opinion, because you are so like into the story of the game, like figuring out the connections between the people and what they used to do, who they were, and everything. And also, um, I don't know, the atmosphere it gives you of like, oh, there is this whole town for me to explore and enter the house and solving some puzzles as well. Most of them were lock and key or password based puzzles, like in a Resident Evil game, even. But yeah, that game was amazing. Hi, Mormons, what's up, man? How's it going? How are the coasters? So far, they are alright. In this level, we are more worried about the number of guests because we need to get 2,300 guests by the end of year 4, and we're almost finishing year 1. The coasters I have here, I only built one. It got all of my money, which was, where is it? Down here, right? Nope. Where is the entrance? Down here, maybe? There we go. This is the only coaster I built so far. The other two were already built in this level, so they will also help us out. Which, by the way, mechanics. Okay, we have three. They are good. I think I'll hire another entertainer to keep people happy in here. We need to keep them in the level. Oh my god. There goes the crash. No, my coasters are not crashing, Nubble. Not yet. Demon Fang! Yeah. No, so far we are good in here. People have been giving out the Souls-like tag to so many games that don't really deserve it. Seriously. It gets handed out to anything with remotely and any difficulty when ridiculously difficulty used to be the standard and Souls-like was for the refined and tailored special kind of difficulty. Hmm, I see. But I can't think of a game where people have been doing that. Do you have an example? Don't get me wrong, I'm fine with non from soft games trying to be a Souls-like, but if we throw the title around this much, then it's gonna lose its meaning is my concern. My biggest concern is when they start, for example, roguelike and roguelite. It's when the term starts. It sounds like the same, but it's not the same. You know, it starts kind of creating other versions of that one thing, and then it starts becoming more confusing which one is the one you are saying. You know, because I don't know, the words are so close to each other. That's my biggest concern. It's like they start dividing the genres of gaming so much that they are all kind of sounding like the same, even though they have some minor differences. When things are more different, or when the words are more different, then I'm good about that. But when they are kind of sounding like the same thing, you know, that kind of starts making me lost. Even it gets more confusing. But yeah, a Souls-like game that people have been saying it's a Souls-like, but it's not. I mean, maybe the Hollow Knight plus Silk Song could be an example, even though I could still understand why some people would call them like that. Because again, not every Souls-like needs to be 3D, right? Okay, do we have a 2D Souls-like? I think we do, actually. I just can't think of which one it would be. Speaking of money, we are getting more money now. It's coming up fast. Let's go for the scrambled eggs, and I will consider getting another coaster in. I will build this down here. Cuphead! Cuphead could be a Souls-like. Yeah. There are more I'm forgetting that got slapped with this Souls-like title when that's not what they were really trying to be. Wait, do you mean that you don't consider Cuphead a Souls-like? If you don't consider Cuphead a Souls-like, then what is it? Like, just an adventure shooting game? Platformer as well? I mean, sure. It's just because I'm very open-minded, like... To me, Souls-like are games that you need to win with strategy, and it's very action-based, and also you need to do things perfectly. Like, any mistakes are very punishing. That's the idea I get from something that people say it's a Souls-like. So it doesn't need to be medieval, it doesn't need to be 3D, or it doesn't need to be from software. An action platformer. A little bit of shooting as well, yeah. But I don't know, it's just because I see Souls-likes as very challenging games in the battles, right? Normally against bosses. But at the same time, roguelikes are like that too, that they are very challenging too, that you can easily lose, and then if you lose, you go back to the beginning, and then you need to restart everything. Although if you really take that in consideration, then super hard platformers or even action platformers won't be action platformers if people start thinking of them as Souls likes, right? So I think I also get your point in there. You could just call it a very hard action platformer. So, in your opinion, number what makes a Souls-like game? Like, what are the characteristics you would classify a game under that tag? Because to me, it's like challenging bosses, strategy for the fights, very punishing, things like that, you know? Action as well. It's just that because I don't know if there is like a Souls-like platformer, you know? Normally they are just action, 3D action most of cases. That's why it's confusing, because there are so many games too that mix things up. I say we should go for a log flam. Log flams, they don't crash. It's fitting for a desert. They are profitable, and I don't think they are very expensive. This might be what, 3,000 money? 4,000, you see? So this is a good pick too. I'll give you an example, and you might disagree with me though, but I kinda like to think of Portal as a puzzle shooter game. Even though I think nobody else could think of Portal as a shooter. But to me, it has some characteristics of shooter as well. It just does it differently. And the biggest characteristic is the first person view with the portal gun, of course. But especially the first person view, which is something that normally shooters do. It doesn't necessarily mean that shooters are first person, but it's something that I connect a lot to the genre. But yeah, to me, I think of Portal as a mix of puzzle and first person shooting. Even though you don't necessarily have a, normal gun, but I know it's just me. Like, I understand that the rest of the community of gaming, they classify Portal just like puzzle, I think, or puzzle platformer, puzzle adventure. But I like to also tag it as shooter. Maybe because I'm not too used to like playing games in first person view in general. I normally don't play them. Or reverse belly roller coaster, okay. Also, to your roguelike versus roguelite, yes, the terms are very confusing, right? I hate that. But I think that roguelikes are the brutal ones that you lose everything when you die. And then roguelite, it's less punishing. But I also think there are more differences between them. Roguelikes are games that, yeah, you go absolute zero, isn't it? And they, okay, so we have the same idea, yeah. I got to learn more on those when I was playing Super Metroid. And then Joe's son was in here on the chat, and then he was teaching me about that difference because he liked roguelikes and roguelites, but I was like super lost in the terms. But it seems like it worked because I could now differ them a little bit. But to me, why not just call like roguelikes and then you say that it's an easy roguelike? To me, that could work, you know? It's a less punishing roguelike. But I understand that people would be like very strict to say no, but if you die, you lose everything. I don't know. To me, it could be still alright if it's just like the idea of it being challenging, you know, very hard, very punishing. Not necessarily that you lose everything. I can see that. Not a shooter in the fact that you destroy or kill stuff. mean, you still deal with the turrets, right? But yeah, but rather a shooter to solve the puzzles. Indeed. Yeah, it's something that I perceive in Portal, even though I think it's something more personal to me, right? It's just because the gameplay of it feels kind of like a shooter game in the way you control your character even by using the mouse and the keyboard. It's like I never play shooter games, but I felt like I was playing one for the first time, kind of, just because of this concept. We finally made it to 1,000 guests. Now we need to double it and add 300 more. I think we got this. Maybe I should go for more advertisements. Speaking of Portal, I mean, I think she's not like full of moves, but Shell in Smash Brothers would be awesome, don't you think? Although she's not full of moves, is she? But that's a character I never thought of, like, picking for Smash Brothers, but honestly, I think I would be very happy if that could happen one day. And then she throws companion cubes at people. And then GLaDOS is the final Smash. I don't know, the cake. The cake is the final Smash. There we go, the cake. And then she blows the candles and then that's it. Or like she sends people to the moon or something. I'm down for Portal in Smash Brothers. They gave us the reverse roller coaster, wasn't it? This one. This is an easy one. Let's go. Guests are hungry. Do I need to get more food plazas? Now that we have more coasters and the log flam, I'm adding another handyman in here. And I'm also thinking about a new mechanic, yeah. Let me see, we have a food plaza down there and one at the start of the level. Maybe we should have one in here too. There is this whole area that I haven't done anything. So, bathroom. Let's go back to ice cream. And lemonade. I don't remember if we have talked about this yet, but I wonder if you all are any hyped for the Pokopia? Yeah, the Pokopia game. That's like Pokemon meets Animal Crossing game. I don't remember if you were any interested in that game. Since we were talking about like genres, right, of games. And then it's like Pokemon trying a new genre. The life sim one. I actually should answer that. I'm not necessarily hyped for that, because to me it feels a lot straight up Animal Crossing. And I kind of got a burnout from Animal Crossing a little bit. So it's a game that I would not like feel crazy to play right away. But definitely it's also not like something that if there isn't an opportunity I would pass. I could try it, but I don't know. I still have this burnout from Animal Crossing and farming sims that I don't see myself playing them like at the moment. It's like I appreciate them, but I don't necessarily go after them, you know? Let me see. Our park rating can't go higher, right? Let's try a wooden coaster next. This is too big. Those are too big. Speaking of different genres of games, there is this one though that I recently have watched the trailer. It's called, how's it called? It has a very long name, but it's easy to find it for a short name. How is it again? I forgot it already. My memory doesn't work. Welcome back, Cole. So far, it's alright. We got past 1,000 guests. It's the beginning of year 2. I'm now thinking of a wooden coaster. I need to remember the name of that game. Oh, this is very expensive. Are you kidding me? I don't have money for that. Never mind. I will find something else. Okay, I will check the name of the game. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find it. I'm opening my Steam. Isaacat. Yeah, I was trying to remember Isekai, the anime genre where people are sent to another world, right? And they mixed it with a cat. So Isaacat with K. And why am I bringing this game up? I'm bringing this game up because it is from a very specific genre of games that I don't think it is popular at all, but I do wanna play these games, especially this one because it looked very funny from the trailer. So here it goes. I'm talking about typing games. Have you guys ever felt curious to try or to play a typing game? So basically, it is an adventure game, I think, that you need to be beating the enemies by typing the words fast. And I don't know why. Actually, never mind. Maybe I know why I'm interested on that. I think it is because of um, how is that game? Pictionary? I think it's Pictionary in English. It's not really the one reference I was going after, but it's the closest to the reference I thought. Um, that I know it exists in English. You all know Pictionary, right? There is a drawing, and then you need to type the word you think it is, and then you need to be the first one to score the points. I used to play a game in the past that was with that idea. It was not Pictionary, but it had the same idea. And that kind of made me realize that I'm a somewhat fast typer, or it kind of helped me to type faster, as I loved playing that game and then guessing what people were drawing and stuff. So I kind of got some. Uh, I don't know. I kind of got a little bit of interest in like typing, or maybe I should say it's something that kind of makes me to feel good when I can like type fast or something. Not that I do it on purpose, but like having an objective such as playing that game or maybe playing these games of typing, I can see myself feeling engaged or like hyped for the challenge. So yeah, I have been thinking about playing those typing games too. I already have, I think, a couple of ones. And then when I was watching the YouTube videos of new indie games coming up soon and recommendations and stuff, I saw this one, Isaac Cat. And then the trailer was so funny that I was like, man, I would love to play this. Even though the genre is super forgotten, like nobody talks about typing adventure games. Are you kidding me? But I think I would have fun with that. So yeah, that's another crazy genre that's out there, and I hope we can play it one day here. So an example of roguelites would be Hades. I did hear that they kind of give you some power-ups after you die, right? Binding of Isaac, Dead Cells, while roguelikes would be more like Zombies Ate My Neighbors. That's a franchise that's like super old. Darius to win. Zombies Ate My Neighbors is one of your favorite franchises, isn't it, Nubble? I remember you talking about it in the Super Nintendo, wasn't it? That you kind of had a lot of liking for that game. I at least kind of remember something about that. Darius to win and a game that was a little game show for all for the SNS. Oh yeah, Zombies Ate My Neighbors is an SNS too, but you forgot the last game's name. Although from my research, Zombies Ate My Neighbors and Darius to Win are classified as shooters. Um, what is the word? Like top-down shooters, maybe because you see it from, some distance, and not actual roguelikes. Probably because the term was coined after their release. I agree. Yeah, many years after their release. Ku was able to make a 5 excitement rating steeplechase coaster. Steeplechase is the one that has the single person, right? Like I know which one you're talking about. It is, I don't think I have it. It's the single rail one, isn't it? I think it is that one. I have played some games like that. Oh, have you played the typing games? Yes, I have been wanting to play them, especially after this one, Isaac Cat. The trailer was so charming to me, of the cat freaking out, fighting the enemies. Even the title of the game is silly, it's like a super long title. My cat got into my computer and then he's using its typing skills to win. It's something like that, the whole title of the game. I don't know, the game really got me from its charisma. Like the character of the cat in that game sounds super fun. And then also the text that they were showing on the screen for you to kind of like type fast. Some of those tests they had some meaning, they were kind of phrases and funny ones. So like, you know what, this sounds so good. It sounds like a very good, relaxing, distractful game for you to play one day. So yes, wait and you see, right? One day I'm bringing, if not that one, some other typing games. I know Epic Games gave away typing games before. Yeah. I also have been looking forward to play those finding games that you have like, it's pretty much Where is Wally, right? That you have like a big map and then you need to find the hidden objects or spot the difference games too, because I even bought Tiny Lands on my Switch thanks to a deal. And speaking of the Wally games, I even was downloading the Wii games for Wally. Yeah, the single rail one. Normally, it's very hard for you to have a high excitement in that coaster. I remember when I was playing uh, Octagon Park, and then my Ghost Gym coaster was a single rail coaster, and then Electro was talking about how it would be challenging for me to make a coaster of that model higher than 7 of excitement, but we thankfully could do it, yes. Speaking of games that probably got the Souls-like tag due to BS difficulty, I wouldn't be surprised if newer bullet hell games have been hit by that curse. Okay, bullet hell games to me is something completely different. Yeah. No, I don't think it is the same thing. I can understand if people mix up like those ship games, the airship games or space airship games and things with bullet hells, because they are very like close to each other, like Gradius and stuff. But Souls like games and bullet hell games are completely different to me. Yeah. It's even crazy to think that I played a bullet hell game here on the channel once. I played Big Bang Mini for the DS back in the day. So that's a genre that I already have brought to the channel. Yeah, there are also the shmups, right? Often told the line between being a shmup and being a bullet hell. Could you remind me the difference? I confess that I don't remember the difference between those two. Shmup ups are like shoot them up, isn't it? It's just short for it. Okay, maybe I can think a little bit of the difference. It's just that bullet hell is like excessive, while shoot them up is more like maybe a Mega Man of some sorts, or maybe the ship ones that I was saying, the ship games, isn't it? But there are also many bullet hell ship games. But bullet hell like gives me the idea of like multiple bombs coming out from a source at high speed, and then your dodging abilities are very limited, and then you need to be very skilled. It's pretty much a Souls-like shoot them up. A bullet hell is a Souls-like uh, shmup. But let's not say like this because it's going to add the Souls-like to this bunch of games, and then you don't wanna see that happening, right? But it's kind of like that. The zombies ate my neighbor. It will give you an example of a shmup game in the same comment. Do you mean the Darius twin? Oh, shooters. Oh, those are shoot them up. Okay, okay. It's just because I have never heard of Darius twin as well, so I don't know how is it like. But Zombie Hates My Neighbors, I have an idea, yeah. What have we been getting as new rides? They gave us the Mine Train roller coaster and the reverse Wabelli. It's been kinda slow, isn't it? I think I will increase to maximum funding in here. Can you guys remember any other gaming genre that's very easy to forget? Or like people normally don't talk about them? I would actually say that shoot 'em ups and bullet hells are kind of easy to forget. I mean, there are some rhythm games as well. Like, I don't think rhythm games are strong or that strong in the market still. They are definitely successful, but I still think people don't talk too much about them. For example, I can see visual novels being stronger than rhythm games. The Darius games are very old, older than I thought originally. They started as arcade games with 3 screens for one arcade cabinet that you could seamlessly transition between. Oh my god, you have been playing that since the arcade versions? I know the ship games I was saying, like Sonic Wings for example, that's the one that I remember for the Super Nintendo. They are also arcade games, they're also very old. What coaster should I build next? Corkscrew or Mine Train? Wait, but you're building it yourself, right? I won't say bobsled because I think it's too brutal. And I know you like the wooden coaster, so I would say the wooden coaster, yeah. You started with Darius to win on the SNS, only learned about the arcade versions a few years ago. Could you beat it by any chance? I'm also asking you if you could beat the Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Were you able to beat them by any chance? Oh, there we go. That's the suspended single rail coaster that Cool was talking about. That has the steeplechase. It is even in here. Oh no, it's Bat Flyer? Never mind. I was thinking it would be one of the models in here. I will go for this one, the stand-up steel roller coaster. This one looks good, it's short, not too expensive. It has the photo section. It's just on the opposite side. I will build this again. You know another genre of games that people normally ignore as well? I did the same mistake once again. Photography games. Yeah. Of course, the most famous one is Pokemon Snap, but today you can find way many more photography-like games. There was even one that I saw in one of those YouTube videos that I keep on checking that even got me curious about it. But right now I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, there are also the photography games that normally people don't take in consideration. There is one called Shashingo that's pretty much learn Japanese thanks to photography. So you kind of explore this one city and you take pictures of the objects and things you find in the city, and then it's going to teach you the Japanese word for the pictures you have taken. There is also this other one that is getting to it's going to get a sequel, Toem. Toem is another photography game. I do have Toem 1 because I think it was given away by Epic. I'm curious about that game too. One day I may try it. But yeah, Toem is another one that kind of got a little bit not really popular, but like some indie gamers could know that game. It was popular in the indie universe, and it's getting a sequel. Like in the cozy gaming, it's a cozy game too. But yeah, that's another example of a genre people normally don't talk about, but maybe you can find a fun game for that. It's funny that I selected that I want to have the same price for the on-ride photos, but they never leave it at 4 and 50. So what is the point of marking that, if I always need to be updating it myself? I see a lot of vomit. I will mark this guy's working path, right? There we go. But you wish I could have picked corkscrew? Oh no, you mean that you wish that corkscrew coasters could come with like powered launch so they could go faster? They don't have that? They don't have that? I don't have one here right now, but I could swear they have powered launch. Either that or the reverse start, right? And then you could make like a long upper track so it falls from it and then it gets the speed from it. I would always get close to beating Darius to wins, but you could never. I would tell you to try it still, like one day, even if you need to go for save stating. I know it sucks to save state things, but sometimes we need to go for it, right? And then zombies ate my neighbors. I didn't even get close. Damn. I would always get stuck on levels 20 to 30. Oh, you know what? Oh, I was going to talk about that. Before I got to Nubble's comment, I was going to talk about that. When you said like I could only get to levels 20 to 30, that made me remember some tower defense games. Yeah, tower defense games are also games that normally don't get a lot of fuzz, right? And they are very fun. There was one that I saw in the indie games presentations, but I can't remember those games names right now. But there was one that was looking very interesting because you had to be walking in an area and kind of preparing things in like towers of some sort to be attacking the waves of monsters, but like it was not one of those stationary like tower defense games that you had to be only at one single spot seeing everything from the top, and just managing. No, you actually had to walk from one place to the other to see how things were in the other place. So it was a mix of adventure and tower defense. Yeah, it surprised me a little bit on that matter. But regarding tower defense games, the two games that I played that were part of even my, I don't know, teenager days, especially the Flash games that I used to play as a teenager, were of course Blooms. I think everyone has known Blooms, right? Bloom's Tower Defense. And also this one tower defense game that I used to love so much, I think it doesn't exist anymore. It's called Ant Buster, that you had to protect a cake from ants that were trying to steal the slices of the cake. And I used to be so addicted to that freaking game. And it was pretty much killing the ants, right? Yeah, Bloons TD is a classic. I one day wanna bring it to the channel because I can't remember if I could beat them. I even got on Steam the Ninja Kiwi, which is the company behind Blooms, the Ninja Kiwi collection pack or something. And I believe they will also have the first Bloom game and also the other ones. So I can get to 5 and 6, which were the last ones that I remember buying on Steam. Either buying on Steam or getting on Epic, because I also think Epic gave those games away. But the first ones, I believe you can play it or find it in the Ninja Kiwi archive, whatever it's called, on Steam, right? But indeed, tower defense games. I should play them again as well. But then I also need to find one that, I don't know, gets to me. Because some of them kinda don't get to me on their theming. I should maybe be a little bit more open towards them, but normally I kind of pick them, right? I kind of have to see one that's like according to my taste very specifically. But once I do, then I like them. They fix on the on-ride photo in being not fixed in fixed price in RCT Classic. Oh yeah, I actually never noticed that this it wasn't working in this game, you know? I always assumed it would be working if I marked that. Since you were even talking about the mine train, I'll go for a mine train here. Maybe this one. I need more mechanics? One genre of games that is kinda getting more popular lately, and I feel happy about that, are the co-op games. Yeah, co-op games have been growing, right? Especially after It Takes Two and even Overcooked as well, or Moving Out. Co-op games have been becoming more popular, yeah. Is this with a single train? No, two trains. Okay, now we have more money. Our finances are looking good. I will start paying my loan, and I will also start doing more advertisements. So let's go for RollerCoaster 6, the newest one. Let's go for free burgers. A general advertisement of the park. And let's advertise RollerCoaster 3. There we go. Bloons TD is on like their 6th game, maybe? Yes. Higher on Steam, but you have to buy it. Yeah, I think I have that in 5. But like from 1 to 4, I believe I can find them in the Ninja Kiwi archive software or like game. Together with some other games they have made, right? I meant I wish it went faster than 27 miles per hour on powered launch. I see. Yeah, because they did have the option, I remember that. One game that got ruined by having to move to Steam was the Epic Battle Fantasy games. I have never heard of them. Back when they were free Flash games, they would use characters and creatures from other games with no attempt to hide their inspiration, but now that those are monetized on Steam, they had to make them legally distinct stuff. I see. Because now people will need to kind of commercialize that game, right? While I don't remember Flash games being commercialized. Also, park rating is going down. Might want to check on it. Do you mean me? My park rating on this park has always been kind of bad. It's actually high right now. Yeah, you see, it's on a high point. It's probably because people are lost, to be honest. Either lost or hungry. Or thirsty. Vandalism? I can check the vandalism. You know another genre that is also getting a little bit more of attention lately? Monster collecting. Especially with the new Digimon game. And also, liking it or not, thanks to Powered, monster collecting got more popular now. Let me see if I can find the vandalism. And then everyone was also saying that, oh, after Final Fantasy VII Remake or something, turn-based games are losing their space. Thank goodness that's not the real case, right? Thank goodness turn-based games still have their public. I wish we had better party games. Because like Mario Party is like, in my opinion, probably the best party game like that goes with like board game as well. But all of the other clones aren't as good, to kinda compete against it. So I kinda wish that we could have better party games. The most Flash games did were have Patreons to either request support if you wanted or to lock content behind, like in the case of Adventure Quest, which was a free Flash game but also had paywall stuff in it. What I remember were some websites that maybe you could subscribe to them to kind of access more Flash games. How was the one that I used to Battlegrounds? I think the one that I used to check as a kid was Battlegrounds. By the way, one of the free games that I post on Discord today, Newgrounds. Yeah, never mind, Newgrounds. Yes, Nubble, that's the one. I think it was that one that used to play Blooms or some other Flash games like the Fancy Pants Adventure. It is another one that I want to bring to the channel because I love that platformer game. The Fancy Pants Adventure. Another one that I remember was Dolphin Olympics. It was pretty much a dolphin making stunts by jumping from the ocean and stuff. A little bit like Echo the Dolphin, but with like scoring points and stuff. It's like Tony Hawk Pro Dolphin. It was kind of like that. But I was going to say that there is another specific type of game. I don't even know if there is a genre for that, but they even post one game of that on Steam, and it reminded me of an older Flash game that is to play together with all of these. That I don't remember its name, like back in the day, or the one that I posted on Discord today. But it's basically this type of game. It's one of those games that you charge up and then you hit something very hard, like a baseball or something, and then you see the progression of that item that you hit so hard to try to make it to go super far away. And then it kind of bounces on the floor, and then it hits and gets boosts, and there are obstacles to stop it. I think that doesn't have like a genre, you know, but it was kind of interesting that I saw that formula for a game today again after so long, because there used to be an anime based one that you had to kind of hit an anime character with a bike. It was like a girl on a bike that probably hated the male character, and then she hits him with like a very strong bike, and then the male character goes away like super far away from her, and then he bounces on the floor. He kind of gets to other girls on the way, and then they either help him or stop him from progressing, and then you see what is your score at the end of the course. I know Smash Brothers does that too, right? But yeah, there is also those types of games that are very, very specific. I don't even know if they have a genre, but it's something else that I just remember. Like, there are games that are only like themselves, you know. Another very good example is Where in the World is Carmen San Diego. I think that it is a very specific genre on itself. It's Carmen San Diego. There is nothing that could be compared to that. Maybe GeoGuessr. GeoGuessr. There we go. We have a more modern Carmen San Diego by GeoGuessr, which is very good, by the way. It's also something else that I was hearing today when I was watching to my Pokemon Go videos. There was this one Yap section with this Pokemon Go player, and he actually said something that I never realized. Yeah, I love Pokemon Go, and Pokemon Go has no competition. And I was like, oh shit, he's right. There is no other game that does what Pokemon Go does. Or is there one? I don't think there is. It's just like Carmen San Diego. There is no other game that really does what Carmen San Diego does. Except that I did hear of one indie game, it's Chinatown Detective Agency, the name of it, that they got inspiration from Carmen San Diego, but then I'm not sure how it plays out. That's the only one game that I heard that it was like, we got ideas from Carmen San Diego, but then I haven't seen much, right? Yeah, Chinatown Detective Agency. And speaking of Carmen San Diego, I wanna play it too. I wanna play with you all together, because it is like a classic from everybody's childhood, although not really my childhood, but everyone, like my friends, used to talk about it, and I was always curious to try it. But do I have the geography skills I need? I totally don't. So I hope that one day we try together. You love Pokemon Tower Defense. Pokemon Tower Defense, is that a fan game? You ever play that? I have never heard of that. Fancy Pants Adventure was more likely on stickpage.com. I don't remember anymore. I don't remember the stickpage.com website though. I think I wasn't checking that one out in the past, but maybe there was another website that I was more used to. Yeah. You love the Henry Stickmin series. X5 recommended me that series. I have never played it. Yeah, I have it on my wish list now thanks to X5. They are called home run contest games. Okay, so there is a genre to them. I call them that because they are similar to Smash Brothers. Yeah. Where is Waldo? Is it Waldo or Valdo? Or Wally? I always get confused because to me, Waldo is like in German, while in Brazil we call him Wally. actually have his book right here, his collection of uh, I don't know, challenges, right, and puzzles to find him. But yes, Nubble, I do wanna play the games that are like Wally, Waldo, Valdo, I don't know how to call him. I do wanna play. Yeah, as you can see, Wally, right? That's how he's known in Brazil. Especially a game called Hidden Folks. You guys will be seeing it soon here. I cannot see myself taking forever to play Hidden Folks because, in my opinion, Hidden Folks was the game that made me the happiest to get for free on Epic Games this year. Just like how I felt super happy when they gave away Sable because I was highly anticipating to play Sable. Epic Games this year gave me Hidden Folks that I have been waiting for like a very good sale to that in forever, but then the best sale was getting it for free. So yes, Hidden Folks is amazing. And it has human voice made audio effects for the entire game, so every sound you hear is like from somebody's voice, or some sort of some sort of ability with like their voices, and it's very charming, it's very fun, and maybe a little bit challenging too to spot the items you need to look for. But there are others that are also uh, how are they called, hidden in time or hidden through time, I think. Yeah, and then there are other similar like games, like I was saying that I got Tiny Lands on my Switch. That's like spot the differences, not really find the object, but it's more like spot the difference between two models. I do want to play those games, yes. And then I'm hoping, I'm not sure how big they will look on screen here, but I hope you guys can even help me out. Like, oh, I found it. Have you found it too? And then we can kind of play those games together. And they are games that people normally don't talk about, they normally don't think about playing, but I think they are amazing. You know, another example, there we go. I was watching this one YouTuber talking about a visit that he has done, or maybe gone, right, to a book fair, and then the thing that he bought the most in the book fair were crosswords puzzles instead of like buying real books, because he was like, oh yeah, I got super addicted to crosswords. And yeah, there are some crosswords games. I have a crossword game on my 3DS. I forgot how it's called. I think it's actually just called crosswords or something. But that's another example of a game genre that's very fun as well and challenging for you to think about the words that people normally don't talk about. And that actually made me think of Sudoku and also Picross, another two great puzzle games. And speaking of Sudoku, also very soon I'm planning to play Murder by Numbers, which is a Phoenix Wright kind of investigation-based game that you need to solve the puzzles by using Sudoku. So you might be seeing Hidden Folks and Murder by Numbers on this channel very soon. Yeah, as soon as I can, I don't know, maybe organize my games in here a little bit better or complete some more games, I will consider starting them, yeah. Let me do some more advertisement because we are losing people and we got our money back. But in real life, I wish I could be building some jigsaw puzzles. Yes, I admire jigsaw puzzles a lot, but I never really build them. I think they are very great for you to relax, and if you can kind of make a frame for them, right? And then expose them somewhere or like place them somewhere in your home. Yeah, jigsaw puzzles is something that it is a hobby that I wish I had, but I still doesn't. Let me place this back there. And then let me check the chat. It was an old Flash game that you go into each level defeating Pokemon, defending rare candy, fighting gym leaders. I have never heard of it though, but it does sound nice. Have you guys ever tried those fan-based MMO Pokemon games? Probably today they don't exist anymore. I'm not sure, but I remember they used to be very popular, at least here in Brazil. Like people used to love like playing with other players. I also never played those other MMO games that are like, is it called Habu Hotel or something? You know that game? I think as well it was a Flash game. Habu, it's something like that. I know it was very famous and popular for people to interact with each other actually. Hopefully you guys know which game I'm talking about. And then people use it to take roles of like, oh yes, I'm a receptionist. And then there is another player that comes to you and then you need to kind of play the role right. What do you need? How can I help you? And then people actually could communicate indeed in that game. I think it's called Habu Hotel or something. The starter Pokemons were Kanto starters. Yeah, back in the day, we didn't have as many generations still, right? I didn't know he had different names in different regions. Yes, here in Brazil he's Wally. I thought that Waldo was his name in German, which always made me confused on how to say his name because it could be Valdo or Waldo, right? I'm guessing in the US then it's Waldo, and then in German it's Valdo, but I'm not sure. Oh, do you want to hear what the most evil thing I have ever seen someone do before was? Too bad I'm gonna tell you. Okay, let's see. Someone bought a Where is Waldo? Oh, I know the story. They erased uh Waldo from the book, isn't it? You guys told me that story before in the past. I know that. Somebody on this channel told me that story in the past. I was like, yeah, they copied the book pages into a computer, edited Waldo out of the picture. I think it was a YouTuber, wasn't it? Yes, I kind of think you guys told me that, and it was a YouTuber. Printed the new version of the picture and glued them to the book so no one could find Waldo, then returned the book to the store. I remember that story. It was so funny when somebody first told me that. I used to put together jigsaw puzzles with my mom when we were younger. Don't you miss doing that? I think it's just that it takes a lot of space, you know, for you to actually build them at home or something. But I wish I could be doing them. It sounds so relaxing, you know. And I think the art on the jigsaw puzzles can be very beautiful as well. Two of them still very much exist. They are called Poke Planet, Pokemon MMO. It still exists. I never personally felt interested by playing them, but I know that they were very successful, like very popular. Because like my friends used to be crazy for those MMO games. There is this one Flash game that I wish I could find it again. That used to be called War Bears. Yeah, War Bears. It was pretty much a team of bears that were like special agents, and then they had to go into missions, and then you had to solve puzzles to get the, let's say, good ending of the missions, right? And avoid disasters. But I don't know, I think I could never find that game anymore, War Bears. And they used to be very fun, very simple of course, but very fun games. You had to pick the dialogues, you had to pick the order of, oh my god, the Grow games. Do you guys remember the Grow games? The Grow puzzle games? That you had to decide the right order of things so you could get every item in the level to the max level. And then every attempt you had, you could like get and see like the result. or a different result, and then you had to be thinking, oh, maybe I pick this one first, it should be the last one, and then maybe the third place should be the second place. And then you could like see things interact with each other, like, oh yes, I need to first build the river so the fish could grow. You really had to think about the orders of the items you have available in a level to max them up to the max level. Yeah, the Grow puzzle games, they used to be very fun. I think they still exist though. Yeah, there is a website to them. I think it's called iMaze. iMaze, if I'm not mistaken. There was one Grow game that infuriated you. Which one? I remember the one that has the yellow, the tiny yellow man that used to like build his house on a block, on a cube, right? I think it was Grow Cube, if I'm not mistaken. And then he got married, and then it was growing, it was showing his whole life progressing. It had a dragon, and then you had to try and defeat the dragon like a Grow RPG. You could never figure the right pattern out. Did someone printed the Grow puzzle and then removed the answer, and then they gave it to you so you could solve it, Noble? Maybe. Speaking of MMO games that friends were crazy for but I never could get into, have you ever played OSRS? I don't even know what's OSRS. By the way, I'm not into MMO. I think I have never played an MMO, even, or ever. I can't think of any MMO that I have ever played. Unless you consider the sketching game that I used to play as a kid, that I was even bringing as an example that of Pictionary, right? There was a sketching game that people would draw something, and then I was like, they are trying to type the word in order to get the answer faster than other people. I think that's an MMO, right? It's a multiplayer MMO in a way, or not? I'm not sure. More like a party game, maybe? But I never heard of OSRS. Back in the day, it would just be called, oh, RuneScape. I have heard of RuneScape. Yes, I know the name. I don't know how it goes, since no other version existed yet. Yeah, I have heard of RuneScape. Another type of game that got very popular was those games that you need to combine letters to get to the words right. There is even one that you can play on Twitch with the chat. It's like words on stream, if I'm not mistaken. That you get like a set of letters, and then we need to find all of the words that you can make with those letters. Do you guys remember some Facebook games? Do you remember Song Pop by any chance? I remember Song Pop. They used to give us like a very short preview of songs, and then you had to click the right answer of which song was that faster than your friends. Yes, I remember Song Pop. I believe they actually made Song Pop a Switch game. There was this friend of mine that was addicted to that. But I was going to also mention this one thing that I tried once that I don't know if I will be able to explain it exactly, but I'll try. Have you guys ever heard of the Riddle websites? That's how I used to call them in the past. They were a little bit like um, those escape from the room games, but not really. No, never mind. They're not like the escape from the room games. They were pretty much riddles indeed. And they were websites that you had to figure out an answer or a code in order to go to the next website page. And then you had to keep on finding the right codes and right answers until you could get to the last page of the website. And normally they had a set number of levels, like 50 levels or something. I remember trying this one riddle called Clue Side. Yeah, the close side website riddle. And it was actually the only one I tried that I can remember as a kid. But I remember being so engaged on that. And then there used to be like forums of people discussing each level, you know. And then all that website had were like a picture and a title. And then you had to kind of find the combination or the connection between the picture or the title, you know. And then your answers had to go on the website's link. It was like at the end. You had to type something that was your answer at the end of the link, right? And then type enter. And then if it were the right answer, you would move on to the right website page. Have you ever heard of riddles like that? The clue side riddle was super engaging to me. I got very far, of course, thanks to the freaking forums that were everybody like helping each other to figure out the passwords and codes. But I remember having fun with that one website one time. Apparently, Pokemon posed a mysterious Clefairy. Oh, okay. They are still coming up with some teasers for Legends EA. I will check that out. You don't like that stream game? The stream game. It's the fact they rescramble the letters. Oh, I see that one. The words on stream. I think there are levels that the words don't exist. By the way, like there are impossible letters for you to make words. I have noticed that especially in Portuguese. Like that game can be played in Portuguese as well. There are levels that it's impossible. Like no, there are no words with like I don't know an X, and then they are like asking for multiple words that I think they don't exist, but they also never reveal the right words, so you don't know what they wanted you to actually input. Yeah, they re-scramble the letters every like 5 seconds. It doesn't let me decipher possible words. My brain does better if the letters stay in place and don't move. Have you ever played a tabletop dice game called Scrabble? I think I have not. It would shake the dice with letters around in the container and then try to find words that are 3 letters or longer. Horizontal, vertical, and diagonal. No, I have never played that. But that made me remember the those games that you need to find words in a maze of letters, right? That were almost together with the crosswords. Is my 3DS powered up? Because my 3DS has a game like that. That you need to pretty much spot the word in a maze of letters and words. And it can be horizontal, vertical, and diagonal as well. How's everything in here? I'm not very scared of this level, but I'm at the same time kinda, not paying too much attention for things. So they don't want to pay that much for the monorail. Let's drop the price. I will try this one next, the air-powered vertical coaster. Never mind, they are too large. We got the Ferris wheel. Let's build some minor ones first. Let's drop the rotations and also the inspections because this is a very slow ride, so people can get upset about either the waiting line or because they are too long in the ride, so people can stress out over that. Let me save the game. I just remembered that there is even this one game that I'm not sure how it actually works, but it is for the Switch or for Steam. And it is a game that you kinda play it by using your voice. I can't explain exactly how it goes right now, but it's kind of like a platformer game that when you are going to, like, I don't know, get through some sort of large gap, you could be using your voice by either saying something or just making a noise to use some powers in the game that will allow it to build a platform, and then you would be able to have something to use to cross the gap, right? So yeah, there are also some crazy voice commanding games out there, but they are also not popular. I know of this one, but I just wonder how it works on the Switch because I don't think the Switch has a mic. But there is a version for that on the Switch. Lately, a series of games that, or you should say a series of games that made me curious are the games that are like called Ratapon or something, Ratatan. It is the PlayStation rhythm game pretty much. And there is also a fan game, or maybe I should say a clone game based on the same formula that, yeah, it seems to be good as well. And then it is like a rhythm game that mixes with action battles too. Like you need to be uh, doing commands to your troops, but are commands that follow rhythms, right? And weird words. So yeah, that game seems to be very unique too, and then I'm curious about it. It's something like that. Ratapan, Ratatan. I'm not sure. Advanced Wars. Advanced Wars is Tactics, right? Tactics games. Patapon. Yeah, there is Patapon, but there is also Ratatan or something. Because there is a clone game of that that's Ratatan. You know another game that I thought it was super unique? The one that mixes sports with monster collecting. How is it called again? Will I be able to remember that? Beastie Ball. Beastie Ball, yes. Beastie Ball is like volleyball with monster collecting. And then the battles are based in freaking volleyball matches. I'm very hyped to play that game someday. Beastie Ball. And also, that remind me of Ooblets. I think it's called Ooblets. That's like farming and life sim together with monster collecting, but the battles are based in dance battles. So you kind of have like dance battles to win against other monsters or even to capture them. That looks very charming. So I'm also curious towards Ooblets because people do talk great about Ooblets. Are people not going on this coaster? Oh, it's because it's broken. Simulators have been on trend as well. Merry-go-round, let's go. It's going to give us some songs, right? Today we have simulators of everything. Tabletop simulator, card shop simulator, power wash simulator, leaf blower simulator, cooking simulators I would be interested to try, yeah. Even like Cooking Mama. I have always heard of Cooking Mama, but I never played Cooking Mama. Then we also can get some VR games. Yesterday I was talking um, to Hori, right? I think it was Hori that was here yesterday. Or am I crazy because I was watching too many of my VODs? But Hori was here the other day, and then we were talking about VR games and how he liked both Beat Saber and Synth Riders or Sync Riders. No, I think it is Synth Riders if I'm not mistaken. And I think those VR games are amazing. Like, I play them every time I have a chance when I go to the anime events in the city. And I actually consider getting myself a VR set someday just to play those two games. Because I think they are very unique. So they're like VR rhythm games. I know there are other VR games, but those two are the ones that really get to me. Let's try this side friction coaster. Yeah, they made a new Patapon game for the Switch too. It was a collection, wasn't it? Patapon 1 plus 2. And then everyone was surprised because it is a Sony game, right? Criminal Enterprise Simulator? What? How is that one like? Of the VR rhythm games, I think Ragnarok is the one that interests you the most. Ragnarok. I remember there was a game that was like all about metal music, but I forgot how it was like even. I don't remember if it were like an RPG or a rhythm game, but maybe it was a rhythm game. But then how is Criminal Enterprise Simulator? What the hell? I know there is 911 Operator. Yeah, I know there is that game. They gave us the River Ride. Is there a pre-made? No, there is no pre-made models for that. What about the stalls? Oh yes, I canceled the research for them. Maybe we could go for go-karts. I'm going for go-karts. Let's pick one. What about this one? I see, we need to do more advertisements, alright. And from time to time I like to bring up these games because one day I want to try them too, even if we go bad on them. But there are some language learning games, right? I actually mentioned Shashingo, the photography one that teaches you Japanese, but there are the collection of games called Learn Japanese to Win or Learn Japanese to Battle. I think it's to Battle actually. And I actually got that. And there is one that's Kitagana, Kanji, and also Hiragana games, right? Will I don't know, finish those games knowing everything Japanese and speaking fluently? Of course not. But I think it could be fun to play those JRPG games. They are JRPGs with turn-based battles and everything, but you gotta know the Japanese words they are drawing or writing and telling you, or know their meanings as well and pick the right things to progress in the game. So one day we are going to try that. even though I don't know Japanese at all, or only the things from animes, right? Like Konnichiwa, Itadakimasu, or things like that. You play the war drums on a Viking ship to the beat of the songs for Ragnarok. It looks super fun. You play it like this in the VR. Use the controls like this or something. That reminds me of the Taiko Drums game on the Switch. It is actually for a good price right now. The physical copy here in Brazil. I was checking some deals on it. Although when I was searching more on the game, it seems like you need to have a seasonal pass to play some levels. So it sounds something like a subscription. You don't need to have the Switch Online, but you need to have some sort of subscription to the server of the game. So I was like, why can't I just have the songs? But when I was checking the list of songs, they actually have songs from many animes. They have songs from Attack on Titan, they have songs from the Studio Ghibli movies as well. So it's like, holy shit, I didn't know this game got all sorts of different media themes, right? Oh, we are losing gas because my advertisements are over. But yeah, after doing this quick research, it looked like the Taiko Drums game, it requires this one subscription. I didn't like that. But in case I read that wrong, I could consider playing it one time. I forgot the actual name for the criminal enterprise simulator, but it's the one where you are a gangster making meth or something and have to fend off SWAT teams and whatnot. I never heard of that one, but that reminds me of the Papers, Please game, right? That you need to be checking profiles and stuff of the characters, or something around those lines. That you need to know if the person is a criminal or not. We need more handyman here. Also, by the way, I have been hoping for a new Pokemon Ranger because to me the Pokemon Ranger mechanic is very unique, that you need to be drawing the circles and the lines to capture the Pokemon. But in one of the videos that I was checking for the indie games, there was this one game that it kind of had an interface of old Windows 98 kind of like computers and softwares, and then you kind of had to clear mini games and protect your system by taking such tasks as like the one from Pokemon Ranger, that some viruses would be showing up and then you had to get them into circles to destroy them while other crazy things were happening in your screen in that game. So it was one of the few times I saw the mechanic of Pokemon Ranger being brought back into another game. And that definitely got me more interested to kinda check that game out. But it had other mechanics going on too, depending on the problem your old computer was facing. Okay, now I'm not sure what else to build in here. Maybe this coaster? Sure, let's try this one. We still have more cacti right there. But then, Nubble, you don't have VR either, right? Wait, that's your issue with Just Dance? Just Dance is a game that I can see myself playing or trying, even though I'm not good in coordination or like... I can never understand the move steps or the dancing steps, the icons that are coming, they want you to do, they are not enough to me to know what I need to be doing, you know? So I struggle with that. But I sympathize with Just Dance, like, I could see myself trying it. But yeah, the freaking subscriptions that need to be registering yourself, you know, and enrolling yourself. You don't get all of the songs when you buy the game. You have to pay for a monthly sub. That's the worst. And then probably when the game goes off servers, you won't keep the songs because the servers are down. Okay, we are getting to the limits of our money here. So I will open this coaster and then hope we can recover our money. Oh, I cannot do that there? Seriously? There we go. Enter. Oh, there are two stations? I hope this coaster won't crash. I'm not changing the number of cars of it. Vandalism, I'll check it again. I should have more guards, right? The haunted house, okay. You don't have a VR set? Yeah. I never was interested in getting a VR headset, really. I would like it. Especially for the games I told you. But maybe even to, I don't know, try other games that I never considered before. I still think the VR games, they need to get... they still need to kind of become more appealing to the gamers, you know, like some of them are still very simple looking or not too impressive, but I wonder how fun they are, and in the end it's what matters, like. But it's just that I never really go after to check them out because I still don't have a VR set. If only the VR headsets could be more accessible, right? Then maybe those games could be more promoted, and also the developers could have more budget to improve their games. Like Gorilla Tag, which I never understand how it took off in popularity. Gorilla Tag. I don't know that game. Gorilla Tag? How is that like? Is it a party game? It sounds like a party game. You know a party game that I miss? Nintendo Land. Have you guys tried Nintendo Land on the Wii U? The freaking Luigi's Mansion game where one person was the ghost and then the other one were and the other ones were the characters looking for the ghost was so good. Also the tag game in the Mario courses too. Now I need to save on money because the advertisements are ending. You have no idea? Its graphics look like something from the N64 PS1 era, which makes me not want to look into it at all. Really? Just because of the graphics though? There are a couple of indie games that try to bring back those classic graphics that I'm interested to play. Have you heard of Frog Gun, for example? Yeah, Frog Gun is like a platformer that has some PS1 graphics. And that's saying something when the graphics... Yeah, I was actually wondering about that because you normally don't have that problem. I still think some N64 era games still look great even today. I agree with you. Do you know which game is the one that I used to think that was the one that looked the best, in my opinion, for the N64? Rayman 2, The Great Escape, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Rayman 2, in my opinion, looked great for... I don't know, for the Nintendo 64. I wish I could have beaten that game, but unfortunately I got stuck in a rocket section that I couldn't control the rocket at the end of the game. Maybe one day we can do it. Yeah, the marketing's over, but I still don't have money for everything. Star Fox 64? Star Fox 64? You never played Rayman? I never played Star Fox 64. I have it on my 3DS though. It has held up real well. Only the terrain and some structures look bad, but most of the vehicle models hold up well. I think it's also because of the art direction. It has a very specific art in Star Fox, right? So even if the ships they look like very prismatic, they fit the universe. So I think the art direction helps a lot in that matter. Another one that I would list is probably Banjo-Tooie. I think that Banjo-Tooie is a very beautiful game. It's a fantastic game, in my opinion, Banjo-Tooie. Banjo-Tooie has great levels, it's so complex to solve the levels, it's kind of like a... It's open world before open world was a thing, right? Banjo-Tooie to me is like incredible how they were able to come up with that game. But even the Zelda games are very interesting looking. I'm trying to think of other examples, but it's Rayman 2 to me, yeah. Stylized art will always help a game aged well versus going for hyper-realism. Like this. This game aged super well. I always get like impressed when I'm watching a RollerCoaster Tycoon video on my flat screen TV, right? I'm like, oh my god, the colors are so charming, it looks so good, the freaking path that's so small on my computer right here, it's so big and huge and massive on my TV. I was like, I need to buy this game on the Switch so I can play it on my TV now. That's my new dream. It does look great on TV, I'm not joking. It's crazy how it works. I fell in love again for the graphics of this on my TV. Star Fox 64 Bridges, they stylized art and realism good enough to pass. Do you think they are bringing up Star Fox again for the Switch too? They probably will, right? I think they would. They did not bring it for the Switch, or no, never mind. They did. They had that one that wasn't very successful, wasn't it? I forgot how it was called though. Star Fox Zero, maybe. Vandalism. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Star Fox was assassinated by Nintendo, but they also assassinated Metroid and they resurrected it. They what was really assassinated by Nintendo is F-Zero, don't you think? F-Zero got murdered by Nintendo. I feel really bad for the fans. After the third Star Fox 64 reboot flopped, I think Nintendo was looking for a reason to abandon that IP. The thing is that Nintendo never abandoned their products. They did not abandon Pikmin, even though Pikmin never was very successful. They did not abandon the freaking Virtual Boy. Nah, they are going to come up with something. Just like how they came up with Star Fox 2 for the SNS. Metroid wasn't assassinated by Nintendo because Metroid was never relegated to just Metroid 3 Remake after Metroid 3 Remake. In fact, we haven't gotten a single Metroid 3 Remake yet. I just meant that situation with the Federal Force. That was like not what the fans wanted, you know? When they finally were trying to bring new life to Metroid, that's what they were trying to give us. That's what I meant by they tried to murder Metroid, but they were able to kind of rewrite the history. But I do think that F-Zero is pretty much dead by now. Yeah, the spin-off game. It flopped hard, wasn't it? And maybe it could have been a good game. Maybe, I don't know, people that like Rocket League or something could have enjoyed that game. They just had a very bad... I don't know, they could have given it a different name, a different brand, not connected to Metroid. Guest count could be a problem for me, you think? 1,900 guests? I think it's going well. We are still in July, year 3. Don't forget, maybe you are thinking that this level is only 3 years old. Nah, it's 4. So we still have another year. That's why I'm feeling good about this. Yeah, we have 4 years in here. I hope. I mean, everything can go bad. Like, what if the coaster crashes, right? The one that I did not change the number of trains. But I think we are doing alright. We have an year and a half. We are almost at 2,000. We have money. But of course, in the last year, I will need to pay more attention for sure. Yeah, exactly, cool. Yeah, that can happen, especially in this one. Where is it? This one right here. I hope it doesn't because it has 2 stations and everything.
This next test is very dangerous. To help you remain tranquil in the face of almost certain death, smooth jazz will be deployed in 3, 2, 1.
I love that. Yeah. Never gets old to me the freaking Portal 2 quotes and references. I mean, Portal in general, right? First you'll be baked, and then there will be cake. How is the other one? How is the one that she's kind of making fun of the neurotoxin? It's like, it's deadly to you or something, but not to me. I can take a bath from this stuff, put it on cereal, rub it right into my eyes. It's not deadly at all to me. I freaking love GLaDOS. She's my favorite villain. That's why I want Shell on Smash Brothers. Let's make it happen. When there is another Smash Brothers ballot, I believe that's the word. Sorry if it's not. Like the voting thing, it's ballot, isn't it? That people were like voting for whoever they wanted to see the most. It's a ballot, I think the word. I'm voting Shell next. Yeah. Why isn't Evergreen Garden a 3 years long park? You are still in that school? How many guests are you missing now? How are you? I hope you're doing fine because I'm a potato. And then, oh good, we still have that. Yeah. Portal, I still hope we get to Portal 3, right, one day. And I also hope I can play Bridge Constructor Portal. I know that I didn't have the best time of my life by playing Poly Bridge, but I wanna play the Portal Bridge Constructor one, yes. Were you a fan of Whitley? I know that he's very liked by many fans, but I never really cared for Whitley though. Yeah, Whitley never really got to me that much. To me, he's just a clown. And I don't know. But when I watch people playing Portal, everybody kinda, you know, loves him and then laughs at him and stuff. I prefer GLaDOS way more. Which reminds me that I still have never played the co-op of Portal. And I think it's very fun. Why am I not getting more coasters? They gave us the bumper cars. Now every classical music in this game sounds like Final Fantasy, thanks to Theater Rhythm. Does it fit in here? It doesn't, right? Yeah. By the way, this is empty, I need to change its price. When I was reading the songs of the Taiko Drums game I was mentioning, they do have classical songs too. I just don't know which ones. Let me check the prices now. 0 people on ride because it's expensive, probably. Man, now I'm craving burgers. I wish I had like a Whopper right now. I wish I could be eating something very juicy, you know, like with salad. Like the power of lettuce and tomatoes. I actually ate tomatoes with cheese and like it was pretty much tomato cheese sandwiches that I made. But I kind of want more. Is $1 good for this? It kinda is. Yeah, there we go. Then I think everything else is okay, right? Like there are people going. Then let's go to the advertisements. Free burgers, please. You know a Star Fox game I forgot about because I refuse to acknowledge its existence? I'm kinda scared of what you're going to say. Unless I'm making an example of it like right now. That terrible Wii U Tower Defense Star Fox game, I have never heard of that one. That required motion controls and the use of both the gamepad screen and the TV screen. I have some questions to you, Nubble, since now I'm learning that you like Star Fox while I don't know much of Star Fox. First of all, what is the plot of Star Fox? Like, what do you do in the game? Like, what are they doing? Like, what's happening in that universe? Like, why do they have the airship fights and everything? Like, what is going on in Star Fox? Could you give me like a minor plot summary? Of course not like with full details and spoilers, because maybe one day I can bring that in here and we could play it. But what is the game about? I have no idea. Second question, I was thinking you would be talking about the Star Fox Adventures for the GameCube. And then I wonder, are you a fan or are you a hater? From what I see, I think I would like it, but I also know some people don't like that game. Not sure why. And the other thing, I also had another question, wasn't it? Yes. Have you tried the clone of Star Fox that I think was a Ubisoft game? That they even had Nintendo's permission to add Fox McCloud in it. But I don't remember how that game was called. Pretty sure it has something to do with Ubisoft. And then they got Cloud in the game. They gave us the Psycho Railway. You know a game that I think I would like? I'm pretty sure it exists, but I doubt that the one that exists will be very good. But I now wished we could have some sort of shopping mall simulator game. And then you could build everything in the shopping mall, you know, and decorate it and everything. I wish there was a roller coaster version of a shopping mall simulator, pretty much. You could like pick on the stores that you would have in there, and also the parking lot, the size of things, the movie theater, some rides of like ice skating, bowling or something, managing elevators and levels, and you know, shaping it up externally and internally. I don't know, matching some situations like, oh yeah, this shopping mall will be a very tiny one because it is in a large avenue or something. And then there is another level where you need to build a shopping mall in a farm. Or, you know, I wish that I could do something like that, like with different objectives. That could be related to like an amount of people, amount of profit. Something around those lines. I'm now wanting to play something like that. But I doubt that there will be a good shopping mall simulator game. I'm pretty sure they will all be very basic, very simple. So Andros, a monkey, was a scientist in the Cornerian army that was exiled to the planet of Venom, where he built an army to exact revenge on Corneria for wronging him, so it's your job to stop him from causing more destruction. I never thought that the enemy would be one of the animals. I always kind of thought that the enemy would be that one classic mask that has the 3D kind of like graphics for the SNS. Star Fox Adventures was fine. There are a lot of things I remember having gripes with, but I also kind of enjoyed it. Okay, it's not perfect, but maybe it still delivers as a fun game. Yes, it's the one that I kind of see it a little bit like Zelda, so I think I would like it. Maybe even more than the airship ones that I'm not very used to. But do you know the one Ubisoft game I was talking about? I don't remember how they were called though. Is there any good water coaster here? Maybe this one? Yeah, I'm getting very hungry right now. Next week I need to buy more cereal. I'm running out of cereal. Star Fox Adventures was never meant to be a Star Fox game in the first place. That's not surprising to me. It was supposed to be a completely different IP, but the studio went bankrupt, so Nintendo held on to the IP and eventually turned it into a Star Fox game. I still think I understand if like many fans did not like the game, but I'm kinda happy that the game existed, you know? That they did not give up on it. There we go! You won Evergreen Gardens? You made the hyper coaster? Now you need to wait just for 1 more hour? Let's go! In here, things are looking good as well. We are still at year 3, and we pretty much got there. Only missing like 150 guess. So this level was very chill, thank goodness. After the previous ones. All thanks to the advertisements, of course. If you can advertise, it's very broken. With that knowledge, it makes the game more understandable on why they did what they did for it. Yeah, and thanks to that, I feel kinda relieved that they, in my opinion at least, they took the right choice of like finding an alternative to still have the game. Because even if some people don't like that game at all, I'm pretty sure to some other people that game will be nostalgic because they played it for the first time on their first console, which was the GameCube and everything. To some other people it could have been their introduction to adventure games or even to the Star Fox franchise. So, you know, I still think it's just like what happened to Mario and Super Mario Bros. 2 Doki Doki Panic, that it was like a complete different game, but they just used the skins of Mario characters. It is that odd one game from the Mario universe, but it's still very beloved by people. It is kind of like the same thing. But without that knowledge, it felt like a slap in the face of the Star Fox franchise. Just because it is different. It's a little bit like what Metroid was almost heading towards too, right? Do you remember how people received Metroid Prime, by the way? How the reception was? I remember how it felt for Wind Waker. And people were like, but this is not realistic and stuff. But how was the reception over Metroid Prime? Since it kinda changed everything again. Metroid Prime was the first Metroid 3D game, wasn't it? Because all of the other Metroid games are kinda 2D based. Crooked House, okay. Although Adventures, as flawed as it was a wonderful catalyst for the sequel game Star Fox Assault. A return to the classic formula but with actual story progression for the team. Okay. So they had some lows to bring the highs, right, afterwards. By the way, Nubble, Air Riders is coming up soon, isn't it? I know you are very hyped for ZA next week, but isn't Air Riders also kind of soon to be released? Maybe November, wasn't it? And also they said that Sakurai would come up again with another direct. When is that happening? Kirby's next month, right? It's coming up quick. I'm pretty sure you are more hyped for Air Riders next month. Yeah, not a doubt. And then Prime 4 is in December. That is also true. Are you both playing Prime 4 by any chance? I know Cool still needs to get his Switch too though, but are you excited for Prime 4, Nubble? Probably, right? I never played Prime, but I did like what I have seen for the motorbike thing. I know some people thought it was kind of like, what is this game? This is not Metroid Prime. But I kind of felt like, you know what? Having a little bit of open worldish things and also motorbike, that didn't bother me, but I wonder how or why actually people did get upset over that choice. Like, don't they still have the traditional first-person gameplay they wanted? What is the problem of having a little bit of overworld exploration together with it? I don't know, I just thought that people overreacted towards that bike creation, which to my opinion was actually very stylish and, you know, very cool. I could not understand why the fans were upset, basically. I'm curious how they will handle the bike over having the gunship as the mode of transportation. The gunship? But isn't the gunship to like very far destinations? I think the bike is more to like once you are in a planet or maybe in a region of the planet, then you only go for motorbike. Because most Metroid games will explore on foot the entire time and maybe hop from world to world via gunship. Yeah, but then maybe now they want to really give you the feeling of like super massive planets, and that's the answer they found. Because probably it would be very long for you to kind of travel from one place to another in the same planet without having all of the work to go back to the gunship, you know, and then using it to go to another place. I believe that as well, having the bike will make it more. It's like a quality of life thing that maybe you can kind of ride that bike anywhere you want in the overworld, so basically you don't need to always go back to the ship. I just hope it's not a super massive world filled with what feels like nothing. I understand that, but at the same time, if there are specific areas with nothing, I wouldn't mind that very much. And I say that because I think it would give the game some more atmosphere as you are exploring some alien lands, and I think that isolation is an important feeling as well in such universe. And for you to reach isolation, I think you also should have some, you know, there is nothing next to me at this time. But I know that there will be some enemies attacking you and everything, and even bosses. They showed some bosses in the trailer. But I wouldn't mind too much if there are some moments of isolation for you to pretty much reflect, appreciate nature, appreciate the wilderness of an alien planet, the storms of it, the crazy rains, the snow, you know, something more contemplative. I hope that's a word in English. Than just having action all the time. Because, liking it or not, you are in a foreign place you have never seen before, full of mysteries, and then having those moments of like quietness feels to me like immersion too. Which might be why so many people had an adverse reaction to the bike, but they kind of showed in the trailer that it has some action too. Like, I think it's more fun than just automatically traveling by using the ship, don't you think? You just enter the ship and then the ship brings you from point A to point B, you do nothing. At least now you have some action with the bike or something. Maybe people were upset because they were traumatized after Super Mario, not Super Mario, after Mario Kart World that had the transition sections between the race tracks and people hated them. I think that's where the hate comes from now. People were upset on Mario Kart World, now they don't want transition moments in Metroid Prime. And then they are now angry, right? Fear that it will make the world feel more empty? I don't know. I didn't get that impression, honestly. But you are optimistic they will balance bike travel and world density? I also think so too. And let's say it that the bike amiibo looks amazing. I did like that amiibo a lot. Like how horizontal it is, how long it is. How are my rides now? Everything has people, so we're good. And then we still need to wait until the end of this year. They gave us the Enterprise. Speaking of the Enterprise, the... how was it? Police Enterprise Simulator or something? But I just don't like the colors. It's not really like a watermelon, but I didn't like the colors. Do you guys have the Nintendo Switch Sports game by any chance? See, that was the issue with Prime 3. The gunship was just for getting from point A to point B, right? Although there is reason to suggest that Prime 3 had bigger plans for the gunship given you got upgrades for its missile capacity, but never did come close to running out of missiles for the ship in the full release. So they cut that content. Feels like they had to scrap some stuff to make the deadline, yeah. What if they actually do something this time for the gunship? Maybe you can have both things, like gunship and also bike moments. It's possible. I'm asking if you guys have played Nintendo Switch Sports because it is one of the games that I'm kinda considering getting eventually. But I'm not fully sure if it would be a good purchase. And of course, I know it's better with the multiplayer, but I'm actually thinking about the single player too. Because of the golfing and maybe bowling, you know, those sports, I think I would like to play them with motion controls. I know it will never be a Wii Sports Resort, but so far it is what we have. And sometimes I check the physical copy prices that get on sale. I don't have many games in my mind to buy currently. It's pretty much the Professor Layton game. Then maybe this one, I would consider getting it if it gets to like a very good price. Legends EA, but I will wait for the reviews of Legends EA to know if the game has more than just what we have seen in the trailers. Then, what are the other games that I'm kind of thinking about getting eventually? I think a little bit about Mario Party Jamboree, but I'm not fully sure. And then there are lots of indie games too, but then I think they don't count for this talk right now. It would be nice, especially if it is multi-world like Prime 3 and not just one world. Was it here that I said that ZA DLC is releasing same day as the game? I didn't know that. Yeah. I only thought the pre-order would be like available, but we know nothing about that DLC, right? It's crazy how they are selling it without anything. Like, we don't know about the game, we don't know about the DLC. What are we buying with the DLC? Like, who knows? We don't have the tower, right? Because I'm actually wrong on that. Oh, were you wrong? Yeah, I was like, really? They are releasing it together with the game? Like, it sounded like it was releasing same day, but it's actually releasing a few months after the main game. Okay. I was thinking maybe they could have had the pre-order or something. It was just some clothes you get day one for the pre-ordering, the DLC. Lately I have been so... I don't know. I don't even know how to say this, like... Uninterested? Maybe uninterested is the word. With like the main Pokemon games that I don't mind even losing or missing the giveaways on Scarlet and Violet for the legendaries, you know, that they are going on right now. I could be getting them thanks to the mystery gift, I could, but I'm like, not even the Miraidon and Koraidon. I haven't been very pumped up for the main Pokemon games in forever. I wanna believe that Legends EA will be good, but even if it's good, I'm not like, you know, super excited or something. The only Pokemon game I have been still playing, like, and I have been playing it and also kind of still dedicating my time with is Pokemon Go. But the others, I'm like, it's been forever since I last like thought about the competitive of Pokemon. I used to do it in X and Y and a little bit in Sun and Moon. It's just that I really lowered my expectations towards Pokemon in general. You wish you could get Koraidon. You love its shiny. It's... Correct me if I'm wrong, but he has some gray and green. We also don't have GameStops here, but I was told that there is a place in Rio's downtown that they have some codes. Charcoal black. Oh yeah, charcoal black, and also some green, isn't it? And orange and white. Why am I with green on my mind? Screw you, game. Stop. Your deals with Pokemon to try and get more customers will always be super annoying. Do they... Wait, what is the situation with GameStop? Do they charge people more than the fair price? Are they that greedy or something? Oh yeah, it is this coaster. Fine. I will find a way for it. Let me just do the advertisement. GameStop made a deal with Game Freak to have to make us to go into their stores to get the codes for Miraidon and Koraidon. I actually heard of that. Of which there were very limited codes per store, only 50? 50 per soul, 25 of each legendary shiny. That's 50? And of course, yes, of course, the scalpers trying to make a quick buck went in and took all of them. I'm not surprised at all. How, in their minds, they thought that 50 codes were enough? 50 codes they don't even last like a morning. They probably don't last even like, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours. Like, what the hell? The shiny should have been given out via mystery gift, right? You know what, Nubble? I kind of think they will still do it. I believe they probably made this deal with GameStop just like for a starter. And then maybe later they will give it everyone the Pokemon via mystery gift. Especially after hearing this story. 50 codes! Actually 25 of each, like what the hell? Are they thinking that only 25 people visit GameStop per day? Or actually forever? That's super dumb. But yeah, it seems like there is a place here in Rio that they are giving away those codes to. But I'm super chill, like... I'm not even worried about that. Especially after hearing this, like, maybe they got, I don't know, 5 codes in the store. This is too expensive. The shiny should have been given out via mystery gift. No, they won't. They have never done that in the past. When Game Freak did deals with GameStop, if you didn't or couldn't go to the stores, then you are just SOL. SOL? SOL. Also, that orange coaster at the bottom of the screen isn't working properly. Isn't it? This one? Or the other orange? This one maybe. Is there another one? Wait. No, those two, right? They are okay. Maybe it was broken. I were looking at it. It's none of those? Oh shit, out of luck. Yeah. Imagine if you had to like go from super far away, like in your case, to get to GameStop and then you won't have the codes in there. Especially because the scalpers bought them or got them. RollerCoaster 2 still hasn't been fixed. Oh, this one. Mechanic? Oh, he's there. People are giving up about being in the queue. But why is my mechanic in the entrance? He should be in the exit, which is in here. I'm actually moving him. I think he got lost. Can I make a connection here? I probably can't. But there we go, so far so good. We got the objective, we got even 50 guests ahead of the objective. We have money. Nearest the GameStop is a good hour or so away, yeah, and then you get there, oh, we have no codes anymore. Because Nintendo gave us only 25 codes for each. To like get to a whole city. It is very idiot. Yeah, that decision is like horrible. But people do sell them, like... I know, like, it should have been forbidden to sell those Pokemon, right? But people do still sell them, don't they? flying saucers, okay. By the way, completely off topic, there were some cities competing here in Latin America to try to become the next city of the Pan American Games, and my city was competing too, together with Rio. Although today I read the news that we lost. So the next Pan American Games will be held in Asunción, right? Yeah, I believe that's in Paraguay, if I'm not mistaken. So my city had a chance of like getting to the Pan American Games in here, but it didn't work. Which is kind of sad because I was hoping they could do some structural changes in the city, like trying to make things less polluted, maybe giving us more transportation or options of transportation, like subway train or something. But yeah, maybe those plans won't be that easy to come out anymore because the Pan American Games are not coming to here. Yeah. Yeah, for like 50 bucks or more because they know people, especially the shiny collectors, really want them and will pay for them. That's so sad. It should have been forbidden to like trade them, don't you think? But people would still be able to sell the code. Yeah, people would still be able to sell the code. I don't know, Pokemon always makes those bad decisions, right? It happens with the freaking card game too, with like the promotional McDonald's cards. That people were throwing food away just to buy the promo card. Hey Subber, what's up, man? We are here chatting about bad decisioning from Pokemon Company, so it's a long story, it's always happening, isn't it? Especially because Pokemon is back like next to League of Legends EA. This park right here is pretty much beaten, Subber. We finally had an easier level to worry about. A desert level, we had to get 2,300 gas by the end of this year. We have more than that, everything's looking good. Besides the disgusting state of my paths according to the gas, right? But I think we don't have any major problems in here happening. Let me do the advertisements again. It's the whole... I was saying no because the Pokemon Company, right? They are always having some problems and then making bad decisions, and then Subber's like, it's their whole history. Like since when they were born, they were making bad decisions. Yeah, Subber is like a Pokemon hater for sure. It's the roller coaster in question. Wait, which coaster was it? You said it was orange? There is still one coaster in problem in here? I'm so lost, like... It doesn't work properly. Which one? Oh, maybe it's this one? And oh, maybe it is this one, the train one? Southern? Okay. Wait, where is this one? Is it because I only have one train? An orange one above it and then the orange one in question. I have two coasters that are like those two, right? Any of those? The bottom one? This one. Wait, what? No, it is working. Oh, it's... Now I saw it. It has the reverse powered launch. I mean, people love it. Have you ever heard that? I don't know if there is an expression for this in English, but when something is working, you don't change it. People love it. Yeah, it's probably because I changed the car, right? Miniature golf. Like I probably added an extra car and then it doesn't work, I'm not sure. But people are loving it, like if they are happy, I think I'm happy too, and then I can even play some music so they don't complain about like the bad operation. Let's play some Martian style. Have you guys seen, by the way, that there is an indie game that's based on the movie Mars Attack? And it is a roller, not really a roller coaster like game, but it is an amusement park management in Mars where the rides are like torturing the humans and then the Martians are visiting your park. It is a completely dark, messed up park management game. It's called Mars Attracts, if I'm not mistaken. Let me confirm that. It is like a roller coaster tycoon with Martians. The humans are tortured in the rides, and yeah, it's like a dark twist on this genre. Isn't it Mars Attracts or something? Let me see. Mars Attracts. Yeah, it's Mars Attracts. I thought it was kind of crazy, but because it is kind of very dark, I did not like add it to my wish lists, at least not yet. But the idea is wild. The idea is insane. Yeah, it is not broken and people were liking it, so that's good. It's actually faster this way, so we earn more money from that. Yes, Subaru, it is the unexpected reverse launch that's making it to become successful. They are still complaining about my paths though, but I'm so chill with like 150 more people in the park than what I need. Subaru, earlier today we were having a deep talk about video game genres, and especially those genres that people normally forget they are a thing. Have you ever played a game that you really liked that is from a specific and very rare or unusual genre? Some of the genres we listed and remembered were bullet hells, shoot 'em up. I also brought up the typing games that you need to type the words fast so you could win. Photography games, tower defense even. I think tower defense should get even more space in gaming, or like it should be bigger or more popular. Then, you know one that we haven't talked, beaten up, right? Some people are very big fans of beaten up games too. Like the side-scroller beaten up games. What else did you bring up? We talked a little bit about visual novels, but I do think that visual novels are kinda more popular today, especially after Professor Layton, Phoenix Wright. Simulators are also very popular today. We also remembered some of those, I don't know, classic games like crosswords, you know, or Sudoku. P-Cross as well. I love P-Cross. Then yeah, we were remembering a lot of different video game genres. Hello, this chef. Welcome. Show us the park. Sure. This is Southern Sands. I haven't built anything like by my own. I have been only building the rides that were with its pre-made models because I'm focusing on the objective. But this is how it looks so far. We made a food plaza here because they had the bathroom and the information kiosk when we started. Then I filled it up with other coasters to get more money fast. This is the monorail that goes underground, like a subway. I actually thought this was a very good idea of this level. It's something that sounds fun to try one day in another one. Then the powered lounge coaster. A log flume so they could hydrate. And the water coaster together with it. Then this was pre-made too in this level already. This, I don't know, underground coaster. Then we have the bumper cars, another food plaza in here, some more gentle rides. This other coaster too, I like its colors. I'll need to go back to the marketing very soon. Another simple coaster. Some more rides in here. And a food plaza. It's, I don't know, a mix of things, right? Then we have this coaster here and the Roro drop at top of a dune because it is a tower. But I wouldn't say, I don't know, I cannot say that I did something very important in here because I was pretty much focusing on the objective. But that's how it looked like, right? And then the go-karts in the entrance. That's pretty much it. Let me go back to the advertisements. And speaking of which, the objective in here is to get 2,300 gas by the end of this year. And we are chilling, pretty much. Unless there is a crash, but I normally change the coasters so they can only get one train to avoid train crashes. There is only one coaster here that has more than one train, which is this one. But at the same time, I want to trust it that it won't crash. So we might be alright for this game's objective. Beaten ups are a classic, but do you think they are very popular? I'm not sure if they are very popular. Subaru is talking about vehicular combat. Is it because of the show that you like, Subaru? The Twisted Gear is... wait, Twisted Metal, right? Twisted Metal? Sadly, it feels like beaten ups have just devolved into competitive fighters. I don't know if I can picture that game, like a competitive beaten up game. I always thought of them like being co-op. Like Battletoads, Power Rangers, Streets of Rage. Twisted Metal started out as a game. Oh, okay. Was it for the PlayStation one, maybe? And then Vigilant 8 and Rogue Trip. I really have like no experience in those games, like it's pretty much a car battle then. Yeah, that's a very specific genre. I wouldn't think of it. Have you tried them all, Subaru? By the way, I'm liking the Martian sound. I picked it for like the laughs, but I'm actually liking it. It's very crazy. I believe they are playing a theremin. I actually like theremins a lot. I think it's such a weird and exotic instrument. So I don't know, I'm liking this Martian music. I mean, it feels like all of the beaten up games are just competitive fighters like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, because actual beaten ups are so rare. I don't know. I'm still having trouble to kind of see them as like a competitive fighter. Those were a big part of Subaru's childhood, like those games on the PS1. Damn. And I agree, like, I'm guessing they haven't gotten many sequels, have they? Like, when was the last Twisted Metal game released? Is it recent? I never hear of those games. Another game that we were talking about that I'm actually planning to bring to the channel soon are those spot the object like games, Subaru. Just like Where is Wally, right? Or Where is Waldo? Yeah, that's another uh, genre of games. And I wanna play Hidden Folks super much. It looks super fun. So it's happening very soon, hopefully still this year. I will probably fit it up somewhere in my crazy schedule that's happening right now. Also, by the way, I'm still unsure, but I kind of think I'll be doing this. I probably will go back to Golden Sun 2. Yeah, because now that we finished both Paper Trail and also Yono, the next important game that I think I could go back is Golden Sun 2. So probably I will be adding Golden Sun 2 to the rotation. Um, and also probably we'll be finishing Theater Rhythm soon as well. Because there are only a couple of quests left of Final Fantasies 8, 9, and 6. So I think that as soon as we finish Theater Rhythm, I could be rotating between Golden Sun 2 and RollerCoaster Tycoon. And maybe considering bringing a new game that could be Draws for my Switch, or it could be one of those games we were talking about, like Murder by Numbers, a visual novel, Phoenix Wright like with Sudoku puzzles, or Hidden Folks, like spot the object, find it together, and everything. I'm not sure, but most likely Golden Sun 2 is returning soon. Now that we finished two other games that were taking forever to finish, right? And then after Golden Sun 2, I already have plans of the next long RPG game I wanna play. I wanna play Opuna for the Wii. I know nobody knows about that game, but that's the plan. I want to introduce that game to everyone. Because even though I never played it up to the end, I freaking love its soundtrack. I think the soundtrack of that game will be worth a playthrough. And also for me to know more of the plot of it, because I only played the beginning of it. Not Okami, Opuna. Yeah, but I also can plan on Okami eventually, because I have Okami on my Steam. Yeah. Keep me pressured to play Okami, Noble. Keep me pressured. Because sometimes you guys need to remind me that I need to play those games, because sometimes I forget about the games I need to play because there are so many, right? Okami could be a good pick. Even the sequel too for the DS, wasn't it? Okami then? I can try looking for its ROM somewhere so we can emulate it or something. So the last Twisted Metal game was in 2012. That sounds older than the last F-Zero game. So we actually have something that suffered more than F-Zero in here. The jet skis, but I don't have like a water bank unless I build one. I mean, I have money to do one, but... Oh wait, but we got this. The swinging inverter ship. But don't worry, Nobu, I actually have Okami. The HD remastered, right? So it won't be too bad for me to play that. Are you reading this? Wow. Seriously? This is so disrespectful. Man. I mean, you can't win in everything, right? At least we have the best roller coasters. But having the worst food makes me sad. Like, what happened in here? Is it because everyone is very hungry? People want the monorail to be cheaper? Sure, I can do that. Where is it? But if this were like RollerCoaster Tycoon 3, then sure, I can understand people complaining about the food. Because in RollerCoaster Tycoon 3, when we get to it one day, you'll see that you can pick the toppings of everything you cook or you like sell in your park. So you could decide if you want your burgers to have mustard, mayo, or ketchup, or pickles, or you know, double buns, or like double patties. You pretty much decide everything about the food you sell. But in here I can't decide anything, like I only place the stores and then that's it. But I guess it's because, like, they are probably hungry, yeah. And then the service is the bad thing, isn't it? Yeah, I believe that's what happened here. So they might not be complaining about the food quality itself, but about the service, because they can't get to the food stalls that much. And to be fair, part of it is my bad because I canceled the research on food, right? So I didn't have like new options to give to the customers. I wonder if that matters now. I never asked myself this. If like by selling the same type of food, if people kinda get annoyed by that because they probably were expecting to have more different options, and then you could kinda be getting punished for only selling the like, oh, in that park you can only sell drinks and ice cream because you don't have more variety. Could that be a factor for this award? I need to remind myself to ask Electro that one day. Oh, you have never played Okami, Nubble? Yeah, I also know it's a great game. I was very amazed by the... Is it a sequel? Remember that they announced a new Okami game in a Game Awards maybe from the last year. It looked beautiful. But you know what else is funny about that trailer? The colors of that Okami trailer also looked a lot like what we have seen in Kirby Air Riders. It's kinda like, in my mind, those two trailers looked a lot like, because of the grass and the freaking petals flying, you know? Like, the two trailers did the same thing, the grass and the petals flying. So, yeah, both trailers are kinda mixing up in my mind right now. Okami and Air Riders. Road Trip had only one game once, that its name was kind of funny because it's called Road Trip Vacation 2012. Subaru. Do you think I would like any of those games? Should I consider playing something like that in the future? Just out of fun. Also, by the way, I read Cool talking like about an anime. Anime games is another genre we should be playing at some point too, right? There are lots of anime games. Yu Yu Hakusho, Senseiya, Cardcaptor Sakura. There are some Demon Slayer games too, but I'm not sure. The Naruto fighting games that I never played. Yeah, also there are the anime games. The JoJo Bizarre Adventure fighting game too. Dragon Ball games, indeed. Especially the ones people say they are very good. Like there is a classic one for the Super Nintendo. There is Kakarot, that I also hear great things about as well. Although Sparkling Zero, I pass. Yeah, Sparkling Zero gives me, I don't know, epileptic attacks. Because it's super flashy, it's super uncomfortable to my eyes to look at that game. Did you see they making Duolingo anime? No, I did not see that. I know that the Duolingo mascot has been wild. Like, he has been everywhere and doing all sorts of things. So I'm not fully surprised about the Duolingo anime. Vigilant 8 got 2 games for the PS1. Have you ever tried Subaru searching if there are other franchises that go into battle cars that maybe you haven't heard about before that could be even more recent or like or maybe more indie like? I know the one game that X5 was talking about the other day that they had some sort of mix between kaiju. No, wait, how was it? It was like tractors, right? It was tractors battle or something. And then he was saying that the battle was super epic like because the tractors they had some sort of amazing attacks and power-ups. Have you seen that one game? I don't remember how it was called though, but X5 was talking about that in the beginning of this year. This crazy tractor battle game. The motion simulator? Okay. So yes, I think I might not really like those games, but again, just for us to like check something out and also make Subaru happy, I could consider one day trying something like that. Hopefully the last, wait, not the last, the least. Hopefully the least scary one, or like, if only there was some of them that could be more fantasy looking like. But I bet they'll be all like bloody and realistic, aren't they? They are totally not my vibes. Well, that's the park. I think there is not much for us to do anymore. It's October. Behold the power of advertisement. F-Zero GX was released in 2003. It's worse than what I thought. Yeah, that's a good 9 years before the last Twisted Metal game was made. At least Twisted Metal got the series. If we consider other media, so any Final Fantasy game ever, I mean, the next one in queue is 10, right? But we are now dealing with Final Fantasy Theater Rhythm. My question is like, when am I trying a Dragon Quest game? For years I have been talking about that. Oh yes, I'm now playing Final Fantasy, one day I need to try Dragon Quest. When am I trying Dragon Quest? Subaru is saying you only need to try it to know it. I probably won't like it, but maybe it could be fun by playing it on stream, because then we could be laughing at my disaster in such game, right? And I'm also thinking they might be hard, so I probably won't beat one of those games because they are hard. They are PS1 games, it's going to be easy for me to find and play, okay. Which, by the way, I need to go back to finding the games that I want to play in the future, yeah. I actually finished the Wii games, but I have been busy going back to my VODs to get the clips and everything. So I will need to go back to that, yeah. Still waiting for you to get and play the Collection of Mana for the Switch. I need to buy it first. I will never let this down if you don't play those 3 games for less than 1 game. Wait, for less than 1 game? What do you mean by that? But the Mana games are also on my mind for sure. I also need to go back to freaking Myst, because we played Myst and Riven. What about the 3rd game? But I also need to get the 3rd game, I don't have it. I need to go back to more Tales of. We only played Symphonia, and I have Vesperia, Zestiria. I think I have those 2, but not Berseria, I believe. So yeah, there are so many RPGs for me to go back. I need to go back to Zelda, guys. When am I playing Twilight Princess? It's been like another game that I have been waiting forever until the day finally comes. I don't know how things will be, of course, but at least since I returned right now. I have been able to stream more often. I was even mentioning this earlier, like I still haven't taken a break. I returned and then I have been streaming every day, even if it is a short stream. And that has been good for me to kind of advance in the unfinished games we have had, right? Hence why we beat 2 already, thank goodness, and then now RollerCoaster Tycoon is also little by little progressing more. And Theater Rhythm is almost over too. But even with like this, I don't know, higher rate of streams, or like even if I'm here more often, it still takes time for me to finish those games. So yeah, there are so many things to try and to play still. Carmageddon, I have heard of Carmageddon. Carmageddon used to be banned, right? It used to be banned. I remember people banning that game. Tank Racers, I haven't heard of that one. Destruction Derby. That one sounds a little bit familiar. But you consider those games more like racing games. Yeah, if you think about that, GTA could be in the list too. 3 games for the price of less. Oh, that's what you meant by it? And they are the remastered, aren't they? They are not really the originals. Or are they the originals in the collection of Mana? Maybe they are the originals. Which version of Twilight Princess? I was actually planning about the original one, the GameCube one. Because as I don't have the game, it is the easiest one for me to emulate, right? The Wii one would also work, but then the controls for it, I think it would be kind of weird. Thanks to the Wiimote. Which, by the way, Opuna is a Wii game, but I will kind of find a way to play that. GGS? GG's? GG's. Even though they are wanting to go to the bathrooms, yeah. Today is October 26th. Did I hear a crash? It's Nubble. It's Nubble. It's Nubble. It is Nubble. It is Nubble. There we go, yeah. I'm not falling in that again. Nope. You can try, but I won't fall in that again. Rogue Trip, I would say it's the funniest. Then Twisted Metal is more crazy. While Vigilant 8 would be the one that has the most consistent story, if you can unlock every cutscene. So one focus on the plot, the other one focusing being funny, and the other one it's like just weird. Twisted Metal, I think I wouldn't like it because of how realistic slash bloody it looks to me. Rogue Trip, depending on how it looks like, maybe. And then Vigilant 8, I'm not sure. Yeah. So every saying it depends. You could play the story of one car or rider in one stream without a problem and then check it out. I see, the story of one character from beginning to end, right? Not really getting everything. There we go. I appreciate this level being easier than others. Let's save. And I believe I will play this tomorrow again. Yeah, let's see what are we jumping into. Tiny Towers. In this tiny park, you must finish building the 5 existing oh my god. We are back! We are back to coaster building! To finish building all 5 of the partially built roller coasters in this park, designing them to achieve excitement ratings of at least 6.4. Is this really small? Oh my god. It's so cute! It is like a diorama park, isn't it? Holy shit. But you know what? It's also not too bad because those models, in the exception of the wooden coaster will be more challenging. But the other models, I think they are somewhat easy to, move them around, easy to fit them. And also, at least we know which models we will be using. We don't need to spend time thinking about them. Huh. Maybe this won't be too bad. It's just like it is really a short park, isn't it? I don't know why they call these tiny towers. Like, I see no tower in here. There is no tower in here. But anyway, we'll be checking this out tomorrow. And I don't know if I can beat this in one stream, so probably more than one stream. But guys, I think that's it for me tonight. Thank you so much, everyone, for stopping by. Then I hope to see you guys next time. Have a good night. Take care. And I see you then. Good night.